Interesting.
I think it's also what the dominant reporter heard too.
For one last time in the 2018 season, we welcome you to Stony Brook Field in Brewster, Massachusetts for a matchup between the Wareham Gatemen and the Brewster Whitecaps. Hi, everybody. Alongside my broadcast partner, Cameron Stewart, I'm J.D. Rachi. Last time the Gatemen were at this park, an 8-1 loss to the Brewster Whitecaps, the worst team in the league by record and by a lot of other metrics. Cam, what went wrong? How were the Gatemen, or how were the Brewster Whitecaps able to beat a team that has been near the top of the league the entire season and the Gatemen so handedly?
Well, it was just an ugly one here last Tuesday. 8-1 the final score in that one. The Gatemen couldn't get anything started offensively. They only had 5 hits for the entire game, only bringing home 1 run, and the pitching wasn't that great either. They really didn't get a solid outing. Brendan White ended up being our player of the game, had a couple of good innings, but he ended up giving up a couple runs in that game as well. Tyler Ahern, who we haven't seen start outside of that one game here at Brewster last week, really struggled in the beginning, and he didn't get to go very deep in the game. He is built as more of a reliever, definitely a spot start for him that day, but Gatemen just never got on the right foot on that one, and were never comfortable throughout.
And one of the reasons they weren't comfortable was the starting pitching of left-hander Chris Murphy for the Brewster Whitecaps, who threw 110 pitches in 5 innings in that game, and he'll be back on the mound today. We'll hear a little bit more about him from our host Henrique DeMore coming up in the Gatemen Pregame Show. But lefties have been a problem all season long for the Gatemen. One of the better offensive teams in the league, hitting .274 against right-handed pitchers, but only .236 against lefties. It's been a struggle all season long for them.
Yeah, it has, and we've mentioned that a couple of times. A lot of lefties in this lineup. It is a lefty-heavy lineup for the Gatemen, and a lot of guys switch hitting, switch around to right, which really isn't their strong suit. Jeremy Idens and Austin Shenton are a couple of outliers there. Shenton is right below 400 against lefties, and Idens well above it at 444, but down the line, a lot of averages in the 200s against left-handed pitchers, and the Gatemen just haven't been on that against lefties all year. Murphy was good the last time out, those 110 pitches, still got the win in 5 innings, walked 4, but the Gatemen weren't able to do anything with it because he struck out 6. So a lot of swing and miss stuff from the Gatemen, or against the Gatemen this year against left-handed pitching, and they've just struggled with it all year. Got to turn that around tonight. This is an inferior team that you're playing. Gatemen already coming off a loss today in that shortened game at Hyannis. Nice opportunity to bounce back here tonight.
And looking forward to today's game. A couple of all-stars in the starting lineup for Brewster, despite being one of the lesser teams, if not the lessest, I guess you could say, team in the league. They do have 3 starters in the starting lineup: Dominic Canzone, Cameron Eden, and Joe Donovan. And Dominic Canzone and Joe Donovan have really hurt the Gatemen this year, especially in that 8-1 loss.
Yeah, Canzone and Donovan, you mentioned it. That's been the 1-2 punch in the middle of the order. That's their top 2 hitters for the Brewster Whitecaps. 311 for Canzone and 280 for Joe Donovan. They've provided the little pop that Brewster has needed all year, or has gotten all year. And
make sure you sign your child up today.
Last place in the East Division in the Cape League is because their offense outside of those 2 guys has been pretty sporadic this year. But they have been the catalyst of this team, a team that's playing better as of late, still in that last place spot, but is starting to string some wins together now. They're going to be a big reason why they continue that streak, and if they beat the Gatemen tonight, they're going to need to have big games.
And an 8-6 win for the Brewster Whitecaps yesterday over a really good Chatham Anglers team, so they're trying to build a little bit of momentum and push that winning streak to 2 games coming up against the Gatemen. Meanwhile, Wareham they're technically on a 1-game winning streak by technicality's sake after the win a couple of nights ago, but the loss earlier today to Hyannis, all that time, protested game, and nothing really changes after the protest happens. So the Gatemen are trying to bounce back from that. Coming up, first pitch in just about 20 minutes or so. That'll do it for Cam and I for now, and we'll send it to our host today, Henrique DeMore, who has more with the Gatemen Pregame Show.
Thank you very much, you guys. Like they said, my name is Henrique DeMore, and I'll be taking you the rest of the way home through the Gatemen Pregame Show. First pitch 20 minutes away from Stony Brook here as the Wareham Gatemen get set to take on the Brewster Whitecaps for the 3rd time this season, 2nd time at Stony Brook. They're 2-1 against the Whitecaps pair of wins at home, 4-1 and 3-2, and an 8-1 blowout loss the last time these 2 teams met here. As we said, let's get right to it. Pitching matchup today. A couple of guys who I think have something to prove. And starting with the Gatemen starter is Ken Waldachuk. He's been on a shorter leash as of late. Last 3 starts has not gone more than 3 1/3. The 9-1 blowout loss against Hyannis. He gave up 6 earned runs in 3 innings, but the only reason he didn't go any more innings was because he was just done. And it wasn't because of an innings limit or anything. He just didn't have it that day. and a 5-3 loss to Bourne. 2 earned runs in 3 innings, but bounced back really nicely on the 11th with in a 9-2 win at Chatham, in which he gave up 1 earned run over 3 innings of work, had 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Really good stuff from the left-hander, from St. Mary's. He's been a really good two guy for the Gatemen. My apologies. I read you the numbers for Ken Waldachuk, and I'm going to be honest, I don't know why I did that. That was a mental lapse on my part. That is not the starter today. It's Ryan Garcia. I apologize for that, folks. Ryan Garcia is the starter today for Wareham, and he has been the ace. He's one of 3 All-Stars on this lineup, the rising junior, out of UCLA. And has a 2.25 ERA. Has given up just 1 earned run in his last 4 starts. 4 innings, 3 innings, 5 innings, 4 innings. The strikeout numbers were really high in the beginning of the season, then settled into more his speed. 3 or 4 strikeouts in roughly 4 innings of work. I'll get you the. And Garcia, like I said, he has been the ace. His last outing was in that 2-2 tie against Katuitt. He left the Katuitt offense. The Katuitt offense that already wasn't too fantastic to begin with, held them pretty dead in the water, if you will. Only managed 2 runs, one of them off him and one of them late in the game as the bullpen struggled to record 3 outs in the 9th. Opposing him today will be another guy, like I said, with something to prove, and that's Chris Murphy. And he's got to prove that the last outing that he went, which was the one against the Gatemen, wasn't a fluke. Because coming into that game, the year had been very rough for the rising junior out of San Diego. He has a 5.87 ERA. 24 strikeouts in 15 innings is absolutely phenomenal, but the 13 walks and 17 hits, close to a 300 opponent batting average, that is what has given him a lot of trouble. And the Gatemen, although they registered 5 hits, they left almost 9 men on base in that 8-1 blowout loss. So Murphy trying to come back from a rough beginning of the season. He did so admirably in the outing against Wareham, in which, like I said, he went 5 scoreless, 3 hits, 4 walks, not great, but the 6 strikeouts was enough to beat the Gatemen and pick up Brewster's then 5th win of the season. Getting to catch up with our Merry Orders is today's starter, Ryan Garcia. We're going to hear what they had to say right now.
Thanks, guys. So, Ryan, to begin, what are some of your expectations for tonight's start?
Well, I'm going to treat it like any other start and just, attack hitters, trust my defense, and, let them make the routine plays and stuff. But, yeah, I'm just going to be aggressive and play my game.
What are some pitches you throw, or what are some tactics you use to try to get ahead of hitters?
I'd like to, this summer especially, I've been working backwards a little bit more, so using my slider and curveball early in counts, and then going after them with my fastball later on.
And you were selected to the All-Star team. Congratulations. Can you tell me how you're feeling about that?
Yeah, I was excited. I'm very grateful. It's an honor. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be a fun time. I'm excited. Going to play with some teammates and some other past teammates that I've played with, and it should be fun.
And you and your UCLA teammate, Jeremy Idens, were both selected. What does that mean for the UCLA program?
Well, it means a lot. I think it shows just how good we can be, and especially for this upcoming season, it's just a little taste of what we're going to provide for this season.
Lastly, some either-or questions. First, pasta or pizza?
Pasta.
What kind?
Chicken Alfredo.
Cake or ice cream?
Ice cream. Vanilla.
Spring or summer?
Summer.
Forest or beach?
Beach.
Do you like the forest at all?
I don't like the bugs.
Okay. Ryan, thanks so much for your time. Guys, back to you.
Thank you to Mary and Ryan Garcia, today's starter. The rising junior out of UCLA will get his 5th go at Cape Cod League hitting. Like I said, been really good in his last 4 outings. Has gone 3+ innings every time, has given up 1 earned run exactly in all of his starts so far. Ace material earned him the All-Star nod this year for the West. Really exciting stuff, especially as a relatively late call-up. Didn't start to see action until late June, as he was called up late. His first start was against Orleans, 4 innings of work, 9 strikeouts. Really awesome stuff from Garcia. So let's get right into it. The rest of the men playing baseball today for both these teams First for your Wareham Gatemen, the visitors today, batting first and playing right field, Isaac Collins. Batting second, the second baseman, Sahid Valenzuela. Batting third, the first baseman, Austin Shenton. Third consecutive start for him at first base. Jeremy Idens, the 4-hole hitter in left field. Lyle Lockhart back in the lineup, back from a brief injury in the 5-hole, designated hitter. Batting sixth, Paven Parks, the third baseman. Batting seventh at shortstop, Ryan Kreidler. Batting eighth, Drew Millis. He'll be catching today for the Gatemen. Batting ninth, the center fielder, Skylar Hunter out of Purdue. Hunter been swinging a little bit of a better bat as of late, been putting better contact on baseballs, providing a little more production out of the bottom of a lineup that has been a little bit of a black hole, 6 through 8 specifically, but Hunter in the 9-hole has been relatively good, especially considering the start he got off to offensively on the season. He has improved markedly. And now for the home team, Brewster Whitecaps, batting first, the left fielder, Dominic Canzone out of Ohio State. Batting second, the third baseman out of Cal, Cam Eden. Batting third, the first baseman, Jesse Franklin. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, sometimes a catcher, but today a DH for Brewster, Brandon Mardonado. Batting fifth, the second baseman, Connor Grammis. Batting sixth, Hunter Bishop, the center fielder. Batting seventh, Joe Donovan, the catcher from Michigan. Batting seventh, Joe Donovan. Batting eighth, Ray Alejo out of UCF, playing right field today. And finally, batting ninth, Ike Freeman, playing shortstop today for Brewster. We're going to, and as we get set to go here, about 13 minutes until first pitch, 10 minutes from the national anthem. A guy who is in the lineup, Jeremy Idens, today has been swinging a better bat as of late. We got to catch up with him. Right, and we're gonna get to see exactly what he had to say to our Mary Orders on his better hitting as of late and all-star nods, stuff like that, after we come back from break on the Gatemen Pregame Show.
Beat the heat and join us at Waterways. Thanks, guys. So, Jeremy, you were selected to the All-Star team. How are you feeling about it?
Pretty good. Excited. I think it's a honor to be able to be playing for the All-Star team, and I'm just really excited for it.
What is something you're looking forward to about next weekend?
Just meeting all the really talented players and all around the country. Just getting to get to know some new guys and just having fun.
And you and your UCLA teammate Ryan Garcia were both selected. What does it mean for the UCLA program?
I think it's awesome. I think it shows that the coaches at UCLA do a great job of developing us, as well as the coaches here. And I just think it's a kind of a sense of pride that we can definitely play with all the good players around the country. And
And looking to this last stretch in the regular season, what are some of your personal goals?
Just to continue getting better defensively and offensively. The little things, just taking care of details, and just finishing strong. I know that it's been a long season, but I think the biggest thing is to finish strong.
And what are some of the team goals?
Definitely to finish strong into the playoffs and do well in the playoffs. Go for a ring and win a championship.
Now time for some either/or questions. First, pasta or pizza?
Pizza.
What kinds?
Pepperoni.
And cake or ice cream?
Ice cream. Milkshakes in particular. I love ice cream, like probably Oreo cookie.
And spring or summer?
Summer, for sure.
Lastly, forest or beach?
Beach.
Do you like the forest?
I do like the forest, but the beach is just way better.
Jeremy, thank you so much. Guys, back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you to Mary and Jeremy. As always, the fantastic work she does, bringing you inside access with the players from the dugout, from the field, everywhere. We want to take a quick second here to remind you that you can contact us at the Gatemen Baseball Network anytime by emailing gatemen@pressbox.org. Please feel free to send us your questions or comments, and we'll make sure to address them as soon as possible. Make sure you're keeping up with all the Gatemen action 24/7 by following the Wareham Gatemen on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud. We are everywhere. And right here, right now, I'm here with our beat writer, Ian Becerra, for another edition of Get on the Beat. Ian, how you doing today?
Great, Henrique. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So, been a bit of a wild last 24 hours for the Wareham Gatemen. First, that Falmouth rain out. Gatemen got off to a rough start, being down 3-0 initially, and then battled back with 3 more runs, so ended up in a tie that was eventually postponed. We're supposed to have Fox College Sports on the call. So what do we know about the makeup scenario of that game?
Yep, so Henrique, that game is going to be now July 26th, which is a Thursday, and in fact, it's going to make it a 3-game series between the Gatemen and the Commodores. So on Wednesday, the Gatemen are going to travel down to Falmouth, and then on Thursday and Friday, the 26th and the 27th, the Commodores are going to go up to Spillane Field. So it'll be a nice little 3-game set for the last 3 games against Falmouth on the season.
So 3 games against these Falmouth Commodores, who have been sort of one of these tougher teams that the Gatemen have struggled to beat. The Gatemen have, aside from really Harwich, and they have struggled against Falmouth's pitching staff as being one of the premier ones. Falmouth seems to score just enough runs against teams like Wareham. What do they have to do to figure out some recipe of success? Actually, we're going to take a quick break here before we get the answer to that for the national anthem when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Soft as a Grape has 10 retail locations on Cape Cod, so even when you're cheering on your Gatemen at any away games, stop into a Soft as a Grape store for the best Cape Cod products. Stores located in Falmouth, Mashpee, Woods Hole, Hyannis, Chatham, Provincetown, Edgartown, Oak Bluffs, and Vineyard Haven. From beach day to every day, Soft as a Grape has you covered.
So, thank you to the Ferris family for a very nice rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. Right before we get going here, Ian, what do they got to do to reverse fortune? Seems like a similar problem of a lack of offense against both Brewster last time and Falmouth recently, 2 very pressing challenges going forward in the immediacy for Wareham.
Well, Henrique, one thing that's going to help him is the all-star himself, Bryant Packard, will be back, and I think that's going to be a huge gain for this Wareham team. He was so good before he left for Team USA, and really in that last week before he left, he was dialed in, hitting a bunch of homers. Beginning of the season was getting singles, but then that power really came back. Something he talked about at the beginning of the season was he wasn't seeing the ball that well, so he was going with a 2-strike approach. Now he's going with more seeing the ball better, so he's going with it back to his normal approach, seeing the ball well, which is a power swing, and that's something that the Gatemen are going to be really looking forward to.
The power swing coming back eventually to Wareham, and he'll be participating in the Home Run Derby as well. So the power swing on display for all to see at the All-Star Game and the Home Run Derby. Ian, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks, Enrique.
So, like we said, the Gatemen off to face the Brewster Whitecaps right now as we stand. Isaac Collins is going to lead things off for a Gatemen lineup trying to shake off a weird 2-inning loss to Hyannis today and an ugly one at the hands of the Whitecaps last time out. We'll send it back to J.D. Rachi and Cam Stewart for the rest of the action today.
Thank you very much, Enrique. The Gatemen getting ready to lead it off in the top of the first inning against the left-hander on the mound, Chris Murphy out of San Diego. Today, the Gatemen wearing Cam's favorite, the cranberry uniforms. Cranberry red with Gatemen written in block lettering across the front in blue, outlined in white and red. The numbers on the back are navy blue, outlined in white. The pants today for the Gatemen are gray with blue piping down either side, and the Gateway Tavern helmets are the blue helmets with the red W, the red Wareham W on the front. Meanwhile, for Brewster, it's the white home uniforms. White uniforms with teal sleeves on both sides. Whitecaps written in block lettering moving from left to right and up on an angle, underlined in blue. The lettering is blue with, teal with a blue outline. The numbers on the lower left rib cage are also teal with the blue outline. On the back, it's blue with a teal outline for the numbers, and white pants with no piping for the Brewster Whitecaps. The left-hander Chris Murphy from San Diego takes the mound. Last time out against the Gatemen, he was absolutely fantastic. Went 5 shutout innings on 110 pitches. He threw a lot of pitches, but he was masterful in that game. Isaac Collins, meanwhile, for the Gatemen, will lead it off. The switch hitter batting right, wearing those cranberry red uniforms today out of Creighton. He will play right field. Left-hander Chris Murphy comes set, and his first pitch is waved on and missed for strike number 1. First pitch coming in at 4:59, 1 minute ahead of scheduled first pitch today. Collins hitting over 300 on the season at 319. Had a hit earlier today in the 8th inning of that makeup game, that post-game, or the protested game with Hyannis. He takes a fastball outside, a ball and a strike.
Collins, one of these guys we talked about, struggles when he moves to the other side of the plate, righty against a lefty, just 231 on the year, even with that hot stretch he's been on the last couple weeks.
1-1 for Murphy. Check swing on the outside corner. Appealed down to the first base umpire. He said he went around. The first base umpire today, Bob Gardner. Michael Finn behind home plate. And Rudy Firnbach at third base. 1-2 the count as Murphy comes set. Brings the tan glove in front of his face. Collins asks for time. Now steps back in and waves a tan bat over the plate. Another time called and granted by the home plate umpire. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Top of the first inning from Brewster.
And these 2-3-4 hitters for the Gatemen are going to be the key today. As I mentioned in the pregame show, only a couple of guys who were successful against lefties this year, and all 3 of those guys are over 300. Zahid Valenzuela in the 330s, he's on deck, then followed by Austin Shenton at 394, and then batting cleanup Jeremy Idens at 444. So those guys are really the only ones in the lineup that do a lot of damage against the lefties. So 2-3-4, as it's important pretty much every night for the Gatemen. 3 all-star starters, definitely so tonight.
1-2, called strike 3 on the outside corner. Good breaking ball out of the hand of Chris Murphy. First strikeout of the day for him, and there's 1 gone for Zahid Valenzuela.
Number 3 for the Wareham Gatemen, the second baseman.
Tough breaking ball by Murphy on the outside half. Pretty much unhittable for a right-handed hitter like Collins right there. And if Murphy's going to have that going for him tonight, he'll throw a lot less than 110 pitches.
Valenzuela, the switch hitter, batting right against the lefty. Murphy strides in out of Cal State Fullerton. First pitch from Murphy, misses low and away, a ball and no strikes on the breaking ball. Valenzuela at 324 this season in 18 games started with the Gatemen. 5 doubles, 2 homers, and 14 RBIs. 5 walks and 11 strikeouts. 1-0 popped up foul, back and right over our heads. 1-1. Late call-up, or really he was playing in the Super Regional in the NCAA tournament with Cal State Fullerton, lost to the Washington Huskies. So Valenzuela wasn't here at the beginning of the year, but ever since he has been the mainstay in the 2-hole for the Gatemen. 1-1 changeup, misses outside, 2 balls and a strike. Murphy working from the third base side of the rubber with red and white cleats underneath the white pants. The 2-1. Swung on and roped over the head of the first baseman, Jesse Franklin, and into right field for a base hit. Zahid Valenzuela with a 1-out single. There's a runner on at first, and 1 out for Austin Shenton.
We've seen that changeup on the outside corner to righties a few times in the first 2 hitters. Got Isaac Collins on it. Tried it a few times to Valenzuela and missed it. And so he tries to sneak a fastball inside. Valenzuela jammed on it, takes it the other way to right field.
Went over the head of Jesse Franklin at first. The rest of the defense, Connor Gramis at second, Ike Freeman at short, and Cam Eden at third base. In the outfield, Dominic Canzone in left, Hunter Bishop in center, and Ray Alejo out in right field, with Joe Donovan, the all-star, behind the dish for the Whitecaps. First pitch to Austin Shenton, in at the knees for a called strike, 0-1. Valenzuela being held on at first by Michigan Wolverine Jesse Franklin. 1 of 2 in the starting lineup for these Brewster Whitecaps today. The 0-1 from Murphy, waved on and missed. Big fastball blows it by Shenton, 0-2.
Yeah, a couple of fastballs to start him off. He likes that changeup to righties and can be a deadly pitch, but he knows if he misses one inside, all Shenton's power is to the pull side to right field, so he can really turn on it if he misses.
0-2, fouled off into the screen on a high fastball. Still no balls and 2 strikes, and for the first time in a while, Cam, we cannot call Austin Shenton the top hitter on the Cape. 394 average still isn't shabby. He's ranked number 2 now Behind Hyannis is Matthew Barefoot. He's hitting .398 on the year. Murphy comes set at the belt. Looks back at first a couple of times. His 0-2 home. Fouled off again back and left. Still no balls and 2 strikes against Shenton.
And those guys have been going back and forth all year. Really has heated up this month, Shenton and Barefoot. And it seems like whichever one is in the lead, it seems like their team is in the lead. Matthew Barefoot in the average lead today. And with that win earlier, Hyannis overtaking the top spot in the Western Division from the Gatemen.
0-2 from the lefty Murphy in the dirt, but a good block behind home plate by Joe Donovan. Sahid Valenzuela sticks it first.
Looks like it might have been a curveball there from Murphy. First one we've seen him feature today. Really slow and looping, and of course that one breaks way in front of the plate as it ends up in the dirt.
Murphy stares down Valenzuela at first, the 1-2. Fouled off again by Austin Shenton. He stays alive at a ball and 2 strikes. And that's been the mark of Austin Shenton. He's a fighter, whether that be taking tough pitches, whether that be fouling off tough pitches he thinks are in the zone. He is a fighter, and that's the reason he has had such a good average this season and has been an all-star throughout the year. The 1-2 swung on and popped up to the left side. Valenzuela was off with the pitch, but it's fouled down the left field line. We'll do it again at a ball and 2 strikes. That was the 7th pitch of the at-bat from Chris Murphy.
And it's not only important for Shenton to put up a battle to get the pitch he wants, but the guy on deck is one of your best RBI guys on the year, Jeremy Idens. And for him to see the arsenal that Murphy has just in the on-deck circle is going to be key for him to try and bring in that runner if he's still on base.
Murphy comes set, belt high again. His 1-2 is pumped foul down the left field line and spinning out of play. We talked about how Murphy threw 5 innings the last time these teams faced off, threw 110 pitches. Pitch count already up to 17 through the first 3 batters of this inning. 1-2 to Shenton as he waves a tan bat over his head. The pitch home for Murphy. Misses low below the knees, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I think he's sitting inside fastball, and obviously that's what he wants. He's been eating off that all year. Only a couple of breaking balls in this at bat. Everything fastball has been away, and that's led to all those foul balls off to the left from Shenton so far.
That's where teams like to pitch him, try to make him go the other way. He's been successful. 2-2. Swung on tap to the left side of the infield to the third baseman, Eden. His throw is in the dirt, pulls Jesse Franklin off the bag, and Austin Shenton will reach it first.
And this one, he gets a breaking ball that he just can't lay off. It's on the inside half of the plate, and it's breaking slow. But because it is breaking still, he doesn't get good wood on it. That's going to go down as an error at third base by Cameron Eden. He did have to come in on the ball. It would have been a nice play, but still had time to make the throw as Shenton was just able to get in there.
10-pitch AB for Shenton, driving up that pitch count, which is so crucial in the Cape League. And now first and second for Jeremy Idens as the UCLA left fielder strides in. First pitch to him is a called strike at the belt on the inside corner on a fastball, 0-1. Idens this season with the 6th best average in the league for Wareham, hitting .326 on the season, 2nd best hitter for the Gatemen. No balls and a strike. The pitch home, swung on and popped up back and right into the screen. It's quickly 0-2, so a similar situation that Austin Shenton found himself in.
Yeah, and he's actually working to Idens, the righty, like he did to Shenton, the lefty, pounding the inside corner with fastballs. Or I should say pounding it with fastballs. It was outside to Shenton, now inside trying to jam Jeremy Idens, but he's working that same side of the plate with it.
Short lead for Valenzuela at second, the same for Shenton at first base. Jeremy Idens waggles the bat over his right shoulder. The 0-2 from Chris Murphy. Elevated fastball, misses up and in, a ball and 2 strikes. Idens, as you mentioned, tied for second in the league with 20 RBIs this season, tied alongside Austin Shenton and 5 or so other players. Spencer Brickhouse of Bourne has the most runs batted in this year, but he's really filled in nicely in the cleanup spot. Third man today, the 1-2, just misses below the knees, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I should say the fourth man, Lyle Lockhart, the typical cleanup hitter, will bat 5th today. His first time in the lineup in a while. He's been bugged with some arm soreness after pitching the other night against Chatham.
And it's been so crucial for this team's chemistry that Idens has been able to step in that 4 spot and keep hitting with the RBI pace that he had at the top of the order. You mentioned losing Bryant Packard in that spot, as well as Lyle Lockhart to some injury. It's key for him to step in.
2-2 driven high and deep out to left center field. It falls in front of the center fielder for a base hit. Zahid Valenzuela around third to score, and they will gun out Austin Shenton trying to move up to third. But it's a 1-0 lead for the Gatemen in the top of the first inning on an RBI single from Jeremy Idens.
Beat just keeps on moving for him. 2-strike pitch. He knows he's coming inside again, is able to turn the barrel of the bat on it. Wasn't hit too hard. I thought actually Bishop was going to be able to come in on it, but he sold it well. And he doesn't get Valenzuela to hold up, but Austin Shenton trying to move to third with Valenzuela coming to the plate. They had him dead to rights, but nonetheless, a run in.
So 2 outs now in the top of the first inning and a 1-0 lead for the Gatemen. Idens at first for Lyle Lockhart, the switch hitter batting right against the lefty Murphy. Murphy comes set his first pitch. Fastball up and in, a ball and no strikes to Lockhart. Lockhart out of Houston, hitting .228 this season in 16 games as a batter. 13 hits, a triple, and a home run for him. That home run coming a couple of weeks ago in the YD doubleheader. 1-0 breaking ball and at the belt for a strike, 1-1. Lockhart is like many guys on this Gatemen team. The average might not exactly be there, but his on-base percentage is fantastic. .362 on base compared to the .227 average. Almost 140 points better. 1-1 misses low. 2 balls and a strike from Murphy to Lockhart.
And he was 1 for 3 against Murphy last time. So that looks pretty good on the record. .333 against him. One of only 5 Gatemen hits the last time they came here to Stony Brook.
Murphy stares over to first and Jeremy Idens comes set belt high, his pitch home. Fouled back, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two's across the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 2 hits for Wareham in the top of the first inning. Jeremy Idens on at first base being held on by Jesse Franklin with Lyle Lockhart in the batter's box. Murphy again stares over at first. His 2-2 home. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. Fastball came in at belt high and just nipped the inner half for out number 3. So the Gatemen score 1 in the top of the first. An RBI single from Jeremy Idens, plates Zahid Valenzuela, and we're headed to the home half of the first inning with a 1-0 lead for the Gatemen here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The law firm of Lang, Exafaris, and Bull with legal services for 40 years. We look forward to serving you. For an appointment, call 508-992-1270. We invite you to learn more about the law firm of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard by visiting our website, lxblaw.com.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development, online at www.curry.edu. Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute care hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Bottom of the first inning from Stony Brook Field in Brewster. A 1-0 lead for the Gatemen after an RBI single from Jeremy Idens in the top half of the inning. And Ryan Garcia, his UCLA teammate, to the mound for the Gatemen to get this one going. Going into his junior season at UCLA this year for the Gatemen, it's an all-star campaign for him. A 2.25 ERA in 16 innings. He's given up 14 hits, just 4 earned runs, 5 walks, and 20 Ks for the right-hander out of UCLA.
Yeah, he's had some devastating swing and miss stuff. We saw that, of course, in the first start with 9 strikeouts in 4 innings, but also has developed the fastball his last few times out, which has made him virtually unhittable.
First pitch into Dominic Canzone of Ohio State, misses low. Ball and no strikes to one of the Brewster Whitecaps All-Stars this season. 1-0, misses inside. A fastball just a little bit too in off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes to Canzone. 2-0, called strike on the inside corner, 2-1. Canzone this season hitting .311 in 20 games with 23 hits, a double, a triple, and a home run. A singles machine. The guy just finds a way to get on base with an OBP of .350. 2-1. Fouled off back into the chain link fence behind home plate, 2-2.
We talk about how much Chris Murphy got worked his last time out. The 110 pitches in 5 innings. Already gives up a run in the first. There is a right-hander warming up in the Brewster bullpen already in the bottom half of the first inning.
Garcia out of the full windup is 2-2, blows it by him. 1 up, 1 down on the strikeout against Ryan Garcia. First of the day for him, and the first brought to you by Lang, Exaforest, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. That's not an easy guy to set down in Canzone.
No, and I think he might have featured a bit of a two-seamer there. It looks like still the firmness of a fastball, but took a little something off it. So he's changing speeds extremely well so far just in the first hitter, but we've seen that all year from Garcia, so not to be surprised. But yeah, you said it. Canzone's a tough guy to get out, let alone to set down swinging.
First pitch to Cameron Eden misses up and away. A ball and no strikes to the Cal Bear. Another all-star for Brewster, hitting .260 on the season in 25 games. 1-0. Swung on and pumped into right field, Isaac Collins races for it, but can't get it before it falls in for a base hit. Up to first with a 1-out single is Cameron Eden. So 1 on and 1 out for Jesse Franklin.
Real good piece of hitting by Eden there. This one, he has to stretch out just the end of the bat and bloops it into right field. A good route taken, though, by the right fielder Isaac Collins to just hold him to a single. The Brewster dugout was yelling for him to get 2, but has to hold at first base. So good defensive outfield there. What else is new? Isaac Collins out there in right, and of course Jeremy Idens and Skylar Hunter in left and center respectively. Been stellar all year for the Gatemen.
They certainly have, and Isaac Collins made a great play there. First pitch to Jesse Franklin, misses just high over the belt. A ball and no strikes to the Michigan Wolverines first baseman, hitting .254 this season in 18 games, 16 hits, 4 doubles, and 9 RBIs for him. Garcia comes set, the 1-0 pitch. Fastball fouled off into the screen back and left. 1-1. You mentioned the outfield, Cam. Jeremy Idens in left, Skylar Hunter in center with Isaac Collins in right field. The infield for the Gatemen, Pavement Parks at third, Ryan Kreidler at shortstop, Zahid Valenzuela at second, Austin Shenton at first, and Drew Millis behind the plate. The defense for Ryan Garcia today. Spin throw over to first, but back in headlong is Cameron Eden.
We mentioned the offensive struggles for Brewster this year. You just read off the numbers: 254, no homers, and 9 RBI for your number 3 hitter, your first baseman, big power position. And then your number 4 hitter, your cleanup guy, DH tonight, is only at 237 with 2 homers and 5 RBI.
1-1 breaking ball, misses up and away, 2-1. But Jesse Franklin has had some success against the Gatemen this season. He had a great outing the last time out here at Stony Brook Field, and in 2 games against Wareham, he's hitting .400 with 2 doubles and an RBI, both of those doubles coming in the last game. 2-1 to him. Skips in the dirt low, a fastball, 3-1. Shenton holding big Cam Eden on at first base, with bigger Jesse Franklin, I guess you could say, big burly guy out of Michigan and Seattle, Washington, at home plate. 3 balls and a strike. Garcia comes set, belt high the pitch. Runner goes on the pitch. Millis didn't see it, but it's a walk anyway. So Cam Eden moves up to second. Jesse Franklin up to first on the 1-out walk. Runners at first and second with just 1 gone for Brandon Martirano.
He's expecting Garcia to go with the out pitch there, but doesn't go with the breaking ball. Tries to elevate the fastball and missing on it. So that's something to look at tonight. We've seen him go to a bevy of breaking balls when he needs to get the out. Doesn't that time.
And Martirano is only hitting is only hitting .237 on the season. But that average has gone up nearly 60 points since the last time these teams squared off, so he has been hitting the ball a lot better of late. Drew Millis now going over to the Gatemen dugout. Looks like he's maybe getting a new glove of some variety or some sort of equipment malfunction.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a new glove or he added the batting glove underneath it. He's kind of looking, maybe blistered up a thumb there.
At least they're doing, it has something to do with his glove and not something to do with something else that he's had some problems with over the last couple of weeks. So Drew Millis smiling, and I'm sure he's very happy that nothing else happened in that region. First pitch to the big Martirano, waved on a miss, big hack at a fastball from Garcia, 0-1.
And we hear it was actually the laces of his glove were coming loose that time, maybe to try and avoid another one of those injuries that he has sustained. A little bit of stingers that he's had recently.
I'd call them more than stingers, but 0-1 breaking ball just misses outside. Millis tried to frame it, but not fooling the home plate umpire Michael Finn, 1-1.
Definitely want to keep it in the glove, though. Don't want that getting past, as we have seen twice in the last week from Millis.
Martirano, the right-handed batter out of UNC, the 1-1 from Garcia to him, is fouled off back and right into the screen. A ball and 2 strikes. 6'2", 195 pounds, out of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. From Marlboro, New Jersey. Those Carolina blue batting gloves on his hands as he extends a black bat out with a slightly open stance and a black shin protector. 1-2. Blew it by him, a big fastball. Strike 3 for Ryan Garcia, second strikeout of the day for the right-hander. There are 2 gone with runners at first and second for Connor Grammis.
Goes to that fastball again with those big hitters, or supposedly big hitters in the middle of the order, 3 and 4. He's elevated a couple of ones. It didn't work out against Jesse Franklin. He missed up high, but challenging Martirano and wins that battle with a second strikeout of the inning.
Connor Grammis, the right-handed hitting second baseman today, out of Xavier, strides in. Garcia checks at second. His first pitch to Grammis in the dirt, but a good block by Drew Millis, 1-0.
Yeah, Millis caught in between. He knows that ball isn't going to really bounce ahead of him, but it's going to bounce right below him, and is able to get that leg out and get the glove under it. That's key to keep those guys at first and second, even with 2 outs. There's no real force issue, but don't want to put 2 guys in scoring position, of course.
Garcia steps off the mound, spins, and looks back at second where Cam Eden lurks. Grammis this season hitting just .214, but he has great power, 4 home runs and 56 at-bats for the right-handed bat out of Xavier. Garcia comes set, is 1-0 home. Blows by another fastball, 1-1. Grammis, a two-way guy, has also made 6 appearances out of the bullpen for Brewster. And actually, out of Brewster's 8 wins, he has been credited with 2 of them, despite a 7.10 ERA.
That's some numbers like Steve Carlton in 1972. 27 of the 59 Phillies wins that year.
1-1, bounce to the left side. Ryan Garcia gloves it, charging forward. A good throw and a good stretch from Austin Shenton. Gets Grammis at first. 6-3 on the putout of Connor Grammis. That'll do it for the bottom of the first inning. Brewster threatens but leads.
Since 1950,
Mezzaluna is a family-run Italian restaurant celebrating 80 years in business. Located on Main Street in Buzzards Bay, Mezzaluna specializes in Italian cuisine, a lunch menu that's the best deal in town, and serves Cape Cod's famous prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday. Come enjoy the feast at Mezzaluna, the Italian family restaurant.
One to nothing Gatemen, south of the second inning from Stony Brook Field. Haven Parks, Ryan Kreidler, and Drew Millis. 6-7-8 due up for Wareham against the lefty Chris Murphy. San Diego Torero on the mound, kicks and fires the first pitch of the at-bat. It misses low to Parks. A ball and no strikes to the man who was at the center, at the crux of the protested game earlier today. hit twice, nearly put 2 balls out, but both became long outs. 1-0 fastball, called strike on the inside corner, 1-1.
Yeah, put 2 really good swings on it in Hyannis earlier today. That first one and the first at-bat of the resumed game looked like it left the yard and it was just foul. So I think that second home run's coming pretty soon for Parks.
1-1 tries to hold up but can't. Crosses the plane on a fastball up and away. 1-2 to Parks, and Murphy already ready to go on the third base side of the rubber as Parks takes a deep breath and steps back in. Murphy brings the brown glove in front of his face, drops it to his waist. The 1-2 swung on and pumped high and deep into center field. Hunter Bishop races back and gets underneath it for the first out of the inning. So another well-hit ball from Pavin Parks, but the 400-foot dead center field here at Stony Brook Field contains him. 1 gone for Ryan Kreidler.
Yeah, and that's a tough one for Pavin Parks because it wasn't the pitch he was expecting. He's a little bit late on it, but he still lunges out and gets good wood on the breaking ball and sends it out to deep center field. I'm telling you, it's coming soon. It's coming soon. He's starting to put some better swings on the ball the last day or two.
He does have a home run this season. So does Ryan Kreidler, who takes the first pitch fastball up and in, 1-0. Kreidler coming in as a defensive replacement in that game against Hyannis earlier today. Did not start the original game back on July the 8th. The 1-0 to the UCLA Bruin. Fastball just misses inside. 2 balls and no strikes to Kreidler. He's hitting 258 on the season in 18 games with 17 starts. He's got 16 hits, 3 doubles, and a home run. 2-0 hit to the right side of the infield, right at the opposing shortstop. He comes up throwing, sidearm throw in time from Ike Freeman there at short. They're quickly 2 gone against Murphy. Worm burner right into the ground, and Will Proctor is back to his bat boy duties today. The original game, the original protested game, he was the bat boy for the Gatemen, smiling as he puts a bat back toward where all the bats are sitting on the chain link fence.
We thought he was going to get that 7th inning on today, but he gets the full one here for the nightcap.
He does. First pitch fastball, swung on and missed from Millis on the outside corner. Switch hitter batting right against the left-hander Chris Murphy on the mound. Millis out of Missouri State. An open stance for him, the 0-1. Breaking ball misses low on a changeup. A ball and a strike. Millis at 207 in 19 games this season with 15 starts. 12 hits, his only extra base hit, a double, and 3 RBIs. 1-1. Waved on and missed. Good fastball from Murphy. 1-2. Millis had an excellent season at Missouri State this year. Hit .325 and was first team All-Missouri Valley Conference. The hitting numbers just haven't come together on the Cape for him. 1-2 fastball. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. A breaking ball from Chris Murphy. His 3rd strikeout of the day. All 3 of them looking. And that will do it with a 1-2-3 in the top of the second for the Gatemen. We're headed to the home half of the second inning, 1-0 Wareham when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Village Signs of Mattapoisett. They do it all. Village Signs has proudly served Southern New England for over 35 years. Visit them at villagesigns.inc.com for all your signage needs.
Northeast Maritime Institute's College of Maritime Science is a proud sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. If you're looking for a career at sea, look to NMI's program of education, adventure, and employment on northeastmaritime.com, America's premier 2-year maritime college.
Legacy Insurance Agency at 213 Main Street here in Wareham can offer you coverage for all your insurance needs. We have the bundle discounts, the accident forgiveness, the vanishing deductible, no loss, etc. But unlike those other gimmick companies, we can quote you with multiple carriers. So forget the lizard and the price tool and come talk to a professional. We'll help you find what's right for you.
Bottom of the second inning, 1-0 Wareham as Ryan Garcia comes back to the mound for his second inning of work. Got into a little bit of a pickle with a walk to Cameron Needon and a single to Cameron Needon and a walk to Jesse Franklin back in the bottom of the first. But other than that, 2 strikeouts, and the fastball has really been working for him today, Cam.
Yeah, and we've seen him go to it a lot more than we're used to. He's very breaking ball heavy, but he's been challenging these hitters. That elevated fastball has been his bread and butter so far in the first inning it was, and he got a couple of strikeouts off it. So let's see if that continues. He did it to the meat of the order, kind of the back half of it going right now. 6, 7, 8 due up in the second.
And the 6-hole hitter is Hunter Bishop out of Arizona State, the big left-hander. First pitch from Ryan Garcia, looped into right field and falls in front of Isaac Collins for a single. 1 pitch, 1 hit for Hunter Bishop. He's on with a leadoff single for Joe Donovan.
We did go with that fastball that time and wasn't able to sneak it past Hunter Bishop. So maybe after that first inning, the Whitecaps starting to make some adjustments to it.
Just got it over the outstretched glove of Austin Shenton at first base. A little bit undersized for a first baseman, but playing there out of necessity with Lyle Lockhart's arm still not completely in order. So now Garcia's dealing with the runner on. He'll work out of the stretch. First pitch to Joe Donovan in the dirt, but stopped by Drew Millis, 1-0. Donovan, one of the Brewster Whitecaps All-Stars this season, a .280 average in 19 games for the Michigan Wolverine. Also had a great outing the last time out against the Gatemen, much like his Michigan teammate Jesse Franklin. 1-0 runner goes. Clip foul off the end of the bat from Joe Donovan, and it's 1-1. Donovan just finishing up his freshman season with Michigan. He's had a much better year on the Cape than he did with the Wolverines. Just .250 this year in his first year in Ann Arbor. Only played in 14 games. Garcia comes set belt high from the first base side of the rubber, spins and throws, but Hunter Bishop is back in plenty of time at first base. Donovan out of Clarendon Hills, Illinois, in Westmont High School, and he had an absolutely incredible high school career. Garcia looks into him, again throws over to first. He is top 5 in Illinois State history in hits, doubles, and runs, tied for 10th in home runs and 13th in RBIs, and this is the one that really gets me. 47 career and single-season records at Westmont for baseball.
It's pretty good. Didn't even know they kept that many.
1-1 from Garcia, misses outside, 2-1. It's pretty much if there's an offensive category or maybe a cut-stealing category or a percentage of games played behind the plate, Joe Donovan probably holds the record at Westmont.
Safe to say.
Garcia comes set belt high, his pitch home, fouled off into the screen. Donovan loses the bat, but luckily there's a screen on the other side. Bat came flying out of his hands and toward the Whitecaps dugout, but right before that there's a set of bleachers. Nothing hitting them, and Will Proctor coming up big right in front of us, picking up the ball, tossing it over to the Brewster Whitecaps bat boys on the other side.
Well, Proctor's already been pretty active today. You know, JD, I heard he was contemplating retirement after that Hyannis game.
But when you're so talented, can you really retire? Can you really ever retire?
He felt he wasn't as cute as the kids who did it, but he goes out there with a smile on his face.
2-2 misses upstairs. Hunter Bishop was off with the pitch, has to scramble back to first and does so successfully. So now a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Donovan. I kind of liken Will Proctor to Peyton Manning late in his career. Like, the skills might not have been there as much as they were, but he was so good at one time that he just had to keep going for a couple of more years.
We hope Will Proctor continues this career deep into the summer.
The 3-2 from Garcia misses outside and low. Donovan on with a walk, and much like the last inning, a single from one guy and a walk from the next, and there's runners at first and second, but this time it's with no outs.
Yeah, last time it was with 1 out, and he was able to get a big strikeout of Martirano. Now has to deal with the 8-9 mans here, starting with Ray Alejo. Obviously, ground ball will be huge, but a lot in play. 3 forces, infield fly rule, all in effect right now.
Alejo, the right fielder out of UCF, one of the fastest guys in the country this season, went 34 for 39 on stolen bases. Garcia looks back at second base. First pitch home to Alejo, called strike on the outside corner. Breaking ball hits right at the knees. 0-1, and now Drew Millis is going to go out and have a chat, as well as Ryan Kreidler coming in to talk things over with the right-hander on the mound, Ryan Garcia.
It's a little interesting. That's a pitch that they didn't get earlier in the inning. Drew Millis had to switch out his glove. They weren't able to get that. Excuse me, that was back in the first inning. The first pitch after that was right at about knee level, and they didn't get the call, but are getting it here in the second. And Kreidler's been playing behind that runner at second base. He might want a pickoff throw at some point, or at least get Hunter Bishop thinking.
He was calling for it last time around, but Garcia decided against it. Looks back at second where Kreidler stands. Now the 0-1 home. Alejo shows bunt, pulls it back, 1-1.
You mentioned the speed of Alejo. This sacrifice, if it goes just a bit awry, could turn into a base hit for him, and also a very tough guy to double up if he's swinging away.
First season at UCF this season after sitting out a year after transferring from Ole Miss. 1-1 to him, tries to lay down a bunt, misses, throw back to second, and Hunter Bishop's gotten the rundown. Throw to third now from Ryan Kreidler, and they nail him there.
That's why you learn how to bunt, kids. Ray Alejo can't get one down that time. It's been a lost art of baseball. We've talked about it all year. And Bishop, who was having some bad base running techniques at first base. Earlier, or in the last at bat, it was a failed hit and run. It was a swing and a miss by Donovan, and Bishop was a deer in the headlights and barely got back to first base, and his overzealousness catches him that time.
Now a ball and 2 strikes to Alejo. 2-6-5 on the put out of Hunter Bishop in between second and third. Garcia comes set, belt high, stares down at his shoes. The 1-2 fouled off into Drew Millis, and he's in pain. I think it was a little bit higher than it usually is. Came in on the side of his rib cage. But the kid is just getting battered back there. He just can't avoid the baseball at this point.
He's got a good attitude about it. We asked him about it the other day. The couple of shots he took over the weekend. Can't say anything without a smile on his face, but you mentioned it. He's taking a beating. Shakes this one off a lot easier, but they always hurt.
I think he shook it off a little easier. Location was a little bit better than what it's been in the past. Still a ball and 2 strikes to Alejo, the UCF Knight, in the right-handed batter's box. The pitch from the UCLA Bruin, Ryan Garcia, just misses inside on a changeup. That was a good pitch from Garcia.
Yeah, it was a really good-looking pitch. Not exactly where he wants it, but I think this still catches the inside corner. I thought that should have rung up Alejo, so he gets away with one there.
Count even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes with the runner on at first being held on by Austin Shenton. Garcia throws that way, but Donovan back in standing up. Alejo on the season hitting .242 in 21 games. Actually made his season debut against the Gatemen all the way back in the first meeting between these two teams. That's Spillane. 2-2 fastball up above the head, 3-2. Garcia up to 31 pitches, 32, and is an even split, 16 for strikes, 16 out of the zone for balls. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Garcia lowers to the belt, his pitch waved on and missed. Huge strikeout, and now they've got Donovan caught in the rundown. Throw down to second, they got him. That time 2-3-6 on the putout. So a strike him out, throw him out kind of situation for the Gatemen. That ends the second inning. Base running mistakes, the bane of the Brewster Whitecaps' existence in the second inning. We're headed to the top of the third. Gatemen trying to add to a 1-0 lead when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Located in Wareham Crossing, Coastal Orthodontics, longtime sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen, knows the importance of a healthy smile. Dr. Kevin Oliveira and his team at Coastal Orthodontics are a patient-focused practice, delivering professional, effective orthodontic treatment based on the individual clinical needs of each patient, resulting in beautiful smiles in a timely manner. With 10 years of experience using Invisalign, Coastal Orthodontics uses the most up-to-date dental equipment. Wareham House of Pizza has been serving Wareham and Marion for over 40 years with steak and cheese, pizza, and subs. Located in Shaw's Plaza, head on over for pickup or let them deliver to you. At the intersection of Route 195 and 28, Wareham Crossing, home of Lowe's, Target, and Red Robin, is the sponsor of the Gatemen Intern Program. They help to provide a world-class internship experience in broadcasting, marketing, sports management, and baseball operations. Check out Wareham Crossing's schedule for this year's Summer Movie Night Series.
Top of the third inning from Stony Brook Field in Brewster, Massachusetts. A beautiful night for baseball here, an early start because there are no lights here at Stony Brook, and the Gatemen are out in front of an early lead, 1-0 in the top of the third. 9-1-2 due up for the Gatemen against the left-hander Chris Murphy, Skylar Hunter, and then Isaac Collins and Zahid Valenzuela at the top of the order. Hunter, the switch hitter, batting right. First pitch to him. Shows bunt but pulls it back on an inside fastball, 1-0. Hunter at 169 in 26 games, but the last couple of weeks have been much better for him. 1-0 fouled off into the screen, 1-1. In yesterday's game, before play was suspended against Falmouth, he had an RBI single to his credit to get the scoring going for the Gatemen. 1-1 to him. Fastball outside, 2 balls and a strike. Had an excellent year at Purdue this year, over .330 on the season for the Boilermaker. Murphy out of the full one, up his 2-1 home is pumped into right field. It'll fall in front of the right fielder Alejo and in for a base hit. Hunter rounds around third, and now he is going to be caught in between first and second base. Throw into first baseman Jesse Franklin was bobbled, and then a throw down to second. He slides in ahead of the tag. So Skylar Hunter up to second. We'll see how they score it, but an odd way to get to second base, but he's in scoring position nonetheless. So Hunter took a big round around first, had to stop on a dime and try to get back to first base. Then he realized if he was going to go back to first, he was going to be caught there. Then had to move to second, and a bobble from Jesse Franklin at first base lets him move up to second. Collins shows bunt on the first pitch, but it misses outside and high, 1-0 to the Creighton Blue Jay. It will definitely be a single at the very least for Skylar Hunter. We'll see how they score him as he moves up to second. Murphy working from the third base side of the rubber, the 1-0. Fastball up and in, 2 balls and no strikes. They'll score it a single and an E9 on the
South Coast Health, operators of Charlton Memorial Hospital, St. Luke's Hospital.
2 balls and no strikes to the switch hitter batting right, Collins. Murphy comes set, looks back at second base. His pitch is fouled off, back in right. 2-1 now. Collins 0 for 1 in his first at-bat of the day. Struck out looking back in the first inning against Chris Murphy to get the game started. Murphy tucks a brown glove into his white and teal jersey. Left foot in front of the right on the third base side of the rubber. Looks back at second. His pitch is swung on and missed. Swung on, foul tipped back, actually, as it went behind the backstop. No advance from Skylar Hunter on the foul ball. 2-2. Collins coming into the day hitting .303 with a .387 on base percentage for the Gatemen. An excellent eye at the plate for him. Murphy looks back at second. It's 2-2 home. Fouled off of Collins' front leg. A little bit out in front of a breaking ball. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Zahid Valenzuela, the switch-hitting second baseman and the all-star for the Gatemen, waits behind him. Short lead at second base for Skylar Hunter, who has a lot of speed. So if Isaac Collins can put one out into the gap in one of the outfield positions, Gatemen could easily have a 2-0 lead. Murphy steps off the rubber and looks back at second at Skylar Hunter, but nothing doing there. He is dead still, about 4 or so feet off the second base bag. Collins with gray batting gloves gripping a light tan bat. The 2-2 home. Popped up back in right. Again, out in front of the changeup. Still 2-2. Collins takes his time getting back into the batter's box, a deep breath as he always does before he steps back in. Switch hitter batting right against the lefty Murphy. Murphy comes set, belt tie, the 2-2. Just misses outside, gutsy take from Collins. The count runs full. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes, runner at second, and Skylar Hunter. Gatemen trying to add to a 1-0 lead with Isaac Collins at the plate. Payoff pitch home. Bounce to the right side of the infield and right back at the pitcher, Murphy. Looks back, Skylar Hunter at second, and his throw on to first in time to nab Isaac Collins. One gone. Third or fourth time he had been out in front of the breaking ball. Just couldn't time it up for Murphy. So there's one gone and a runner on at second in scoring position for Sahid Valenzuela, who's already 1 for 1 today with a single back in the first inning. Valenzuela, the switch-hitting second baseman, batting right. Blue gloves over a bright red bat. First pitch to him, misses below the knees. A ball and no strikes to the Cal State Fullerton Titan. 18 games with the Gatemen, 24 hits, 5 doubles, and 2 home runs. After having a bit of a down year at Cal State Fullerton, where he hit just .270 during NCAA play. 1-0 inside on a slider, 2 balls and no strikes. Outfield straight up for Valenzuela, who is just about as good from both sides of the plate as you possibly can be. The left-right splits are nearly identical for him. Murphy looks back at second. Strong lead for Skylar Hunter. 2-0 misses inside. Now 3 balls and no strikes to a patient hitter in Valenzuela. We kind of talked about how the Gatemen struggle against lefties, but that really doesn't extend over to Sahid Valenzuela. 333 against lefties, 319 against right-handers. He is great from both sides of the plate. 3 balls and no strikes. The left-hander Murphy comes set, belt high on the third base side of the rubber. Is 3-0. Fastball right in at the knees, 3-1. Mike Mobbs, the third base coach, staring at Skylar Hunter with first base coach Matt Miller lurking down the right field line. 3-1 the count. Murphy comes set. Kicks and throws home. 3-1 misses down and in. A 5-pitch walk to Sahid Valenzuela. And now runners at first and second with just 1 gone for Austin Shenton. Shenton technically 0 for 1 today. Reached on an error back in the first inning, but kept the game going. Moved Sahid Valenzuela up to second, where he later scored on a Jeremy Idens RBI single. Shenton, the lefty out of FIU, over 390 this season. First pitch to him, misses outside, a ball and no strikes. And much like Valenzuela, Shenton does not struggle against left-handed pitching. Hitting .394 on the year. He hits it well against either handedness in terms of pitching. The 1-0 fouled off straight into the screen. A ball and a strike now. Shenton hitting .403 on the year against righties. .394, as we mentioned, against left-handers. And exactly the same amount of ABs against both righties and lefties. Or excuse me, more than double the at-bats against righties. I was looking at Andrew Vaughn's numbers against right-handers. He had 33 ABs, just finishing up his Team USA tenure. 1-1, runners off. Throw down to third base, and they have Skylar Hunter nabbed. So Sahid Valenzuela will move up to second. A perfect throw from Joe Donovan. Caught stealing 2-5 for Skylar Hunter, and the Gatemen have tried to be a bit more aggressive on the base paths of late, but that time running themselves out of an out and a runner that was already in scoring position. Valenzuela still at second base. 2-1 the count to Shenton. Inning still very much alive for the Gatemen with their best hitter at the plate. 2-1, misses low and away. 3 balls and a strike. 20 RBIs on the season for Shenton. Second on the team now to Jeremy Idens, who waits on deck after he picked up his 21st back in the top of the first inning. Good speed on the base paths, and Sahid Valenzuela, who ran a 6.960 at the Fenway workout back on Monday. Murphy comes set, takes a deep breath on the mound. Kicks and fires the 3-1. Misses up and in. Another walk to Austin Shenton. Runners at first and second once again for Jeremy Idens. Pretty much an identical situation to what he had in the last inning. He was at the plate. Back in the first, Valenzuela was at second for him, Shenton at first for him. And he singled into right field. Or excuse me, into left center field, I should say. Picked up an RBI as Valenzuela came around to score. Idens waves a tan bat over the plate. Murphy comes set on the third base side. His first pitch to him. Fastball misses inside, 1-0. They've tried to attack right-handed hitters in against the Gatemen. Murphy and Joe Donovan behind home plate have, but they have not been getting the call from the home plate umpire, Michael Finn. Murphy checks back at second as 1-0 home. Check swing, did he go around? Appeal down to the first base umpire. He didn't. 2-0 on a fastball that missed outside. Idens now alone in second place in the league with 21 RBIs on the season, as we mentioned. Came into this game 6th in average in the league. That's why he's the starting center fielder for the All-Star game for the West Division. 2-0. Breaking ball, called strike on the outside corner. Nice pitch from Murphy. 2-1. Pretty much no breeze here at Stony Brook Field. Flags at half-mast. They're not blowing anywhere out in right center. 2-1 to Idens. Called strike on the inside corner on a fastball. 2-2. Idens asking home plate umpire Michael Finn where that one hit compared to the one that was called a ball on the inside corner. Gets the explanation from him. Slightly open stance for the UCLA Bruin. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're at second base for the Gatemen, trying to add to a 1-0 lead. The 2-2 from Murphy. Swung on and popped up foul down the right field side and out of play. So Idens fights off a good breaking ball down and away. Good pitch from Murphy. As the pitch count continues to rise for him. He's already up to 66 pitches on the day in just the third inning of work for the left-hander out of San Diego. Comes set belt high, is 2-2 home. Popped up back and right again over our heads. Still 2-2. Idens, the tall, slender right-hander out of Campbell, California, and St. Francis High School, 6'2", 193. Look back at second, 2-2. Swung on and popped up to the right side again, but again, out of play. Idens continuing to fight and staying alive against Murphy, just trying to wear him down. Shenton had a similar at-bat in the first inning where he saw 10 pitches. Idens has seen 6 in this AB against Murphy. Shenton reached on an error in that at-bat. We'll see if Idens can do the same and keep this inning going. 2-2. Swung on and hit to the left side of the infield. It goes off the glove of the shortstop and floats into left field. Valenzuela around third to score, and it will be an RBI for Jeremy Idens, his second of the day, and it's a 2-0 lead for the Gatemen in the third. So E6 against the shortstop Ike Freeman. Lyle Lockhart into the batter's box. Second error of the day against the Brewster Whitecaps. First pitch to Lockhart, batting right against the left-hander Murphy, in there for a called strike, 0-1. My apologies, Jeremy Idens will not pick up an RBI. An error coming with 2 outs. 0-1 to Lockhart, fouled off into the gear of Joe Donovan, 0-2. Idens at first, Austin Shenton at second. No balls and 2 strikes to the switch hitter batting right, Lockhart. Gold cross dangling around his neck as he waves a tan bat over the plate with red batting gloves on his hands. Murphy comes set, looks back at second, is 0-2 home. Swung on and hit high and deep into right field, but right at the right fielder, Alejo. He trots in a couple of steps and makes the play for the final out of the inning. But another run comes across to score for the Gatemen. An error against the shortstop for Brewster. It's 2-0 Gatemen here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Founded in 1854, the Wareham cranberry grower and private property owner in eastern Massachusetts. The company supports organizations like the Wareham Gatemen and projects like the outdoor cranberry bog classroom that you may have passed on your way in. Visit admakepeace.com to learn more.
Bottom of the third inning from Stony Brook Field. 2-0 lead for the Gatemen.
Real quick, before we get back to you, JD, just a real quick Cape League update. I almost feel bad for doing this, as this is the only game going on right now. 4 scheduled games to go still. Chatham at Hyannis, YD at Bourne, Cotuit and Harwich. All those 3 games set to go at 6 o'clock, so in just a few minutes here. And Falmouth taking on Orleans at Eldridge Park at 7 o'clock. That's all we've got. We'll check back in with you in the middle of the 6th inning. Now back to the action in the bottom of the 3rd here from Stony Brook.
Thank you very much to Henrique Demore, our host for the day. Look around the Cape League. No other games going on quite yet, but a preview of the night to come here on the Cape. Ike Freeman, the shortstop out of UNC, will lead it off 9-1-2. Due up for the right-hander Ryan Garcia on the mound. First pitch to Freeman. Fastball in at the knees. Called strike, 0-1. Freeman on the year, hitting 176 in 13 games. With the Brewster Whitecaps, he's got 6 hits, no extra base hits, and 3 RBIs. Sprays that one to the left side of the infield, off the glove of the third baseman, Paven Parks, and then off the glove of Austin Shenton at first, but there to back it up is the second baseman, Sahid Valenzuela. So Ike Freeman reaches to lead off this bottom of the 3rd inning for the Brewster Whitecaps.
Brewster Whitecaps wearing number 14. From the Ohio State Buckeyes, here's our left fielder, Dominic Canzone.
Top of the order now for Brewster. Dominic Canzone out of Ohio State comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1 today. Ryan Garcia struck him out on a swing back in the 1st inning. One of the all-stars for Brewster. The first pitch is waved on and missed. 0-1 on a good fastball from Garcia to Canzone, who came into this game hitting .311 on the season to lead the team. No balls and a strike. Garcia comes set. The 0-1 home. Clipped into right field, but right at Isaac Collins. Swivels his hips and makes the play on the run for out number 1. Well hit ball from Canzone, but sometimes you just hit it right at the opposing outfielder. That's what he did here. They're going to score that. Ike Freeman reaching first base, a single. So no error on Paven Parks, no error on Austin Shenton. A tough play that moved Parks away from the bag, and he had to spin and throw, and then Austin Shenton won't get the error because it clipped off his glove well after Freeman had already reached first base. So runner on at first and 1 out for Cam Eden now. Battle of the Pac-12 powers as Eden flares one into right field in front of Isaac Collins for a hit. Up to second on the single goes Ike Freeman. So now runners at first and second, the 3rd time we've seen this today against Garcia, with just 1 out. We saw a single and a walk in each of the first 2 innings in back-to-back at-bats. Now we've got 2 singles as the bread of the sandwich around and fly out from Dominic Canzone. But Garcia has worked out of this jam in every inning he's pitched so far today. We'll see if he can do it again here, but it's a tough part of the order coming to the plate with Jesse Franklin, the first baseman out of Michigan, who's already walked once today. Garcia working out of the stretch. Comes set belt high on the first base side. First pitch to Franklin. Fastball in at the knees. 0-1. Franklin out of Michigan. His teammate Joe Donovan had a walk in the last inning before he was cut down in between first and second base to finish off the frame. No balls and a strike, the pitch home. Fastball just misses outside, 1-1. Wind's starting to pick up a touch as it blows into Stony Brook here. The flag move wavering ever so slightly out in right center field in toward the ballpark. Franklin, the big lefty out of Michigan. Garcia, the smaller right-hander on the mound. 1-1 fastball in there at the belt for a called strike. A ball and 2 strikes now. Franklin 6'2", 205, but he looks a whole heck of a lot bigger than that. Strongly built out of Seattle, Washington, and Seattle Prep. Hit .327 this season in his freshman year in Ann Arbor. Garcia checks back at second, where Ike Freeman dances around. 1-2, waved down and missed. Big fastball blown by Jesse Franklin. 4th strikeout of the day for Garcia. All of them brought to you by Lang, Exoforest, and Bullard. The fastball has been the strikeout pitch for Garcia, a guy that features a lot of breaking stuff. 2 different breaking balls, as well as Cam mentioned earlier in the game. Now, a running fastball that dives away from left-handed batters and from left to right across the strike zone in that 2-seam fastball. But the fastball has been the out pitch today for him. First pitch, a called strike on the inside corner to Brandon Martirano. Changeup drops in at the knees, 0-1. Martirano, one of the 4 strikeout victims today against Ryan Garcia. He's 0 for 1 with a swinging strikeout, back in the first inning. On 1 pitch, misses inside. 1-1 to the UNC Tar Heel. Carolina blue batting gloves, a black bat in his hands. A catcher when he plays in the field, but DHing today for the Whitecaps. 1-1 to him. Bloop to the left side of the infield. On a backhand, Ryan Kreidler fading away from first base. He got him. What a play from Ryan Kreidler to end the inning. Derek Jeter-esque moving into the 5.5 hole, and that'll do it for the 3rd. Another 2 base runners for Brewster, but they strand him once again. It's 2-0 Gatemen as we head to the top of the 4th on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Make sure you sign your child up today. This year we have 5 one-week sessions for children 5 to 14. We also have 2 special sessions for hitting and pitching open to teens. Registration is available online at gatemen.org or through forms available at the merchandise booth.
For a nostalgic Cape Cod vacation experience, head to Bay Motor Inn, where guests are treated like family. Located in the heart of Buzzards Bay Village, this 1950-style cottage colony still provides you with up-to-date amenities. The Gatemen thank the Bay Motor Inn for their support.
Located along the Cape Cod Canal, Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay is the area's newest rental independent living, assisted living, and memory care community. With some of the area's largest apartments and an ultra-inclusive monthly service package, Keystone Place is a life-fulfilling retirement community unlike any other. Distinct assisted living and memory care programs provide personal care services according to each individual's needs. Discover Keystone Place, the best option for meeting the care and support needs of seniors on Cape Cod.
We will not see 110 pitches from Chris Murphy today. His day is done. But a new left-hander into the game for the Brewster Whitecaps in the top of the 4th inning. It's Ben Dragani out of Michigan. In 4 appearances with 3 starts this season, Dragani's got a 4.20 ERA. In 15 innings, he's given up 21 hits, with 4 walks and 12 strikeouts. His last outing actually came on July 9th, the loss to the Gatemen. He went 6 innings, gave up 4 runs on 9 hits with a walk and 5 Ks. 6'5", 220 out of Michigan. And the first batter he'll face is Paven Parks, the lefty out of Kent State. First pitch misses down and in, a ball and no strikes.
And the Whitecaps don't mind putting these guys deep into starts. You'll remember the last time he was out there and faced Wareham. It says he has 6 innings, but actually went into the 7th, didn't record an out, and was on the hook for all 4 of those runs the Gatemen scored.
1-0 flied straight away to center field right at Hunter Bishop. Barely has to move, takes a quarter of a step in, and camps out underneath it for out number 1. So Paven Parks is down with his second fly out to center field. Now Ryan Kreidler, the shortstop out of UCLA, strides in.
That 4 earned runs by Dragani last time is the most he's given up all year. Brings that ERA a little high at 4.20 on the year, but he was a guy who looked pretty dominant through those first 6 innings before falling apart in the 7th.
He's on the mound wearing 52 today. And the Gatemen have seen a lot of left-handed pitching compared to a lot of other teams on the Cape. First pitch to Ryan Kreidler. Fastball misses outside off the glove of Donovan and back to the backstop, 1-0. And that's probably because there are a lot of lefties in this Gatemen lineup, and a lot of the switch hitters that we see, 5 in the lineup today, are much better from the left side than they are from the right. 1-0 from Dragani out of the full windup. Shot to the left side of the infield, right into the glove of the third baseman, Eden. One smooth motion, throw on to first in time, 2 gone.
It's a nice little play by Eden over there at third base. Not as good as the one by Kreidler to end the last half inning, but has to come in on it and backhand before a little sidearm throw over to first base on the run to get a pretty quick Ryan Kreidler with some long strides.
2 up, 2 down for the Gatemen in the 4th. Drew Millis the batter now. Switch hitter batting right against the lefty. Millis out of Missouri State, struck out looking his first time around. First pitch to him here is popped up foul back in right. 0-1. No balls and a strike out of the full windup. The pitch from Dragani waved on and missed. Out in front of a baking ball, 0-2.
That's a real good changeup from Dragani that time. The bottom just absolutely fell out of it. It's coming in slow and straight, and right as Millis starts that swing, it dipped down. No chance for him.
0-2 to Millis. Skips in the dirt on a fastball, 1-2. And Millis is one of the guys that we're talking about in terms of switch hitters who struggle more against left-handers, hitting just .091 against southpaws this season for Millis, compared to .278 against right-handers. 1-2 bounce to the shortstop. Comes up throwing, throw on to first in time for out number 3. 1-2-3 in the top of the 4th inning for the Gatemen. Still a 2-0 lead for them, though, as we head to the bottom half of the 4th, and a special guest joining us in the next half inning when we come back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Gateway Tavern, located on massive array of menu choices. They search for the finest in foods, ranging from garden fresh produce to hand-selected seafood, and have special menus that change daily. The Gateway Tavern is proud to be the official helmet of the Wareham Gatemen.
One of the area's best restaurants is located right up the street, Brewfish Bar and Eatery. Brewfish offers 20 rotating craft beers on tap and creative pub food. Check out their off-the-menu brunch with a Bloody Mary bar and $5 mimosas on Sundays. Join us for outdoor dining and drinks under the tent, or for live music every weekend, located on Route 105 in Marion.
South Coast Health, operators of Charlton Memorial Hospital, St. Luke's Hospital, and Toby Hospital, delivers an unmatched combination of clinical excellence with a personal touch. They are proud to serve as southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island's only not-for-profit health system, as well as the region's largest employer. South Coast Health, the best care plus something more.
Bottom of the 4th inning from Stony Brook Field in Brewster. 2-0 lead for the Gatemen, and in for the rest of the play-by-play. Excuse me, I'll stay on for the play-by-play. I got ahead of myself a little bit. My apologies. Connor Gramis, the right-handed second baseman out of Xavier. First pitch from Ryan Garcia is fouled straight back, 0-1. Cam and I will switch in the middle of the 5th inning. Got a little bit ahead of myself there. Don't know why I'm trying to take myself off the air, but here we are. 0-1 the count to Gramis out of Xavier. 0-1 breaking ball, misses up and in, a ball and a strike.
As much as I'd love to take over, JD, we'll give you your due here.
Appreciate that.
We'll give you your half.
It's been an off day. 2 games, 1 day, it's been weird.
It's been a long one for us.
1-1, waved on and missed, blew the fastball by him. 1-2 now to Connor Gramis.
It's been long. It's hot. We've been baking out here in the sun. Tough conditions for us broadcasters, man.
Certainly is. The 1-2 in the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gramis is 0 for 1 today. Bounced out to the shortstop Ryan Kreidler back in the 1st inning. Ryan Garcia still on the mound, working into his 4th inning of his outing. He's outlasted Chris Murphy, the starter for Brewster. 2-2, waved on and missed. Fastball in the outside corner. That's 5 strikeouts now for Ryan Garcia. He is dealing here in the 4th.
Yeah, nothing we're not too used to seeing. Well over a strikeout an inning this year for Ryan Garcia. But as I've mentioned a few times tonight, he's doing it with the fastball tonight, which he's really developed his last appearance or 2 that we've seen from him. Normally very breaking ball heavy, but just sticking with that dead red tonight, and it's really worked out for him, shutting out the Whitecaps so far.
Garcia takes a deep breath on the mound as he straddles the rubber straight away. His first pitch to Hunter Bishop, in at the knees for a strike, 0-1. Bishop not pleased with the call from our home plate umpire tonight, Michael Finn. He's pleased with himself after his first AB, though, 1 for 1 with a single today. Garcia tucks a black glove into his waistband. The 0-1 pitch. Changeup blew it by him. 0-2. That's the beauty of the changeup. Comes out looking like fastball and then just dips out of the strike zone a little bit slower. And that has been a nasty pitch for him tonight. The 0-2 pitch. This is up and away. A ball and 2 strikes. Good waist pitch from Garcia, who's working quickly in this inning.
And like you mentioned, that changeup comes in so far in like a fastball. It's so good for him to change eye levels and change speeds with that bottom falling out. Works both as a double whammy for him.
1-2 home, blew the fastball by him. 6 strikeouts now for Ryan Garcia. Back-to-back here in the 4th. All of them brought to you by Lang, Exa, Forrest, and Bullard. 2 gone for Joe Donovan.
Here we go, folks. Starting things off now.
Garcia has been wheeling and dealing in this game. Joe Donovan has reached against him, though. A walk back in the 2nd inning. Donovan, the catcher out of Michigan, one of the all-stars on this Brewster lineup. 3 of them in the starting 9 today for the Whitecaps. First pitch to him, called strike at the belt, 0-1. Donovan Bishop, the last batter, were part of the base-running catastrophes in the 2nd. Donovan caught between 1st and 2nd for the final out in that inning. 0-1 fastball, misses low, a ball and a strike. Black batting gloves on a two-tone black and tan bat for Donovan. Slightly open stance for the Michigan Wolverine. 1-1 breaking ball, misses upstairs, didn't break as enough for Ryan Garcia. 2-1.
You mentioned the base running catastrophe. A couple of outs on the base paths after Garcia let the first 2 guys on in that inning. Couple that with 3 errors from Brewster today. It's just been little baseball mistakes that they've made, and that has propelled the Gatemen to that 2-0 lead they're in right now.
2-1 swing and a miss from Donovan. 2-2 now. And Ryan Garcia is 1 strike away from striking out the side in order in this inning. Takes a deep breath on the mound, shakes off 2 signs, likes the 3rd, rocks back, kicks and fires the 2-2. Just misses below the knees. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jim Lawler and Don Sneddon like that pitch from Garcia.
I sure do too. I gotta have that if I'm Ryan Garcia. Right on the knees and on the black. Man, tough one to lay off.
3-2 pitch misses up and into Donovan. His 2nd walk out of the day, and that breaks up the perfect inning for Garcia. And Donovan is on at first with 2 outs for Ray Alejo. Alejo 0 for 1 today. One of the strikeout victims. He was the 3rd strikeout of the day for Garcia back in the 2nd inning. Speedster out of UCF. His first season with the Knights this year. Garcia comes set of the stretch. His first pitch is waved on and missed. 0-1 on the outside corner. Alejo hit a shade, and I mean a shade, under 300 at UCF. 299 this season. 0-1, chop to the left side of the infield. Couple of hops into the glove of Ryan Kreidler. Goes the short way to Sahid Valenzuela, covering second base for out number 3. 2 strikeouts, a walk, and a ground out for Ryan Garcia. His most efficient inning of the day for the Gatemen comes in the 4th against Brewster. Brewster still hasn't gotten one across against him. He has been dealing. It's 2-0 Gatemen here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Top of the 5th inning from Stony Brook Field in Brewster. 2-0 the lead for the Gatemen over the Brewster Whitecaps. Skylar Hunter will hit it off. 9-1-2 due up for the Gatemen in the 5th inning against Ben Dragani, the left-hander out of Michigan. All Big Ten matchup to get this inning going. Hunter, the Purdue Boilermaker, in the box. And the first pitch from the Michigan Wolverine misses outside. 1-0. Something we haven't touched on quite yet is that this battery for Brewster here is an all Michigan's get-up. Both guys pretty comfortable in the battery. 1-0 pitch, called strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Joe Donovan, the Michigan Wolverine, behind the plate. Ben Dragani, the Michigan Wolverine, on the mound with the Purdue Boilermaker in the batter's box. 1-1, popped up to the right side. Jesse Franklin racing over toward the Gateman dugout, but he will run out of room. The ball trickles foul. It's now a ball and 2 strikes to Hunter, who is 1 for 1 today, singled into right field back of the 3rd, and then reached second base on a throwing error from Ray Alejo out in right field before he was caught stealing 2-5 in between 2nd and 3rd in the 3rd inning. 1-2 to Hunter, popped up foul back in right. Still a ball and 2 strikes to the center fielder. Red wrist tape on either arm. No batting gloves, though, for Hunter. Black and tan bat waved across the plate a couple of times. Dragani comes set, works out of the full windup, kick and a pitch. 1-2 hit toward the second base side. Gloved on a couple of hops by Gramis. His sidearm throw to first beats the speedy Skylar Hunter. 1 gone.
Always a tough play mentally for the second baseman. It's a slow roller. Doesn't want to come in on it because he doesn't want to be throwing on the run, but knows he has to rush one over to first base. Fast runner coming out, Skylar Hunter, especially from that left-hand batter's box, a step closer to first base, but Gramis handles it perfectly.
So from one switch hitter to the next, Isaac Collins turns the lineup card over. Leadoff man today for the Gatemen, 0 for 2 with a strikeout looking in the first, and a ground out to the pitcher, who was then Chris Murphy, back in the 3rd inning. First time he's facing Ben Dragani today. The first pitch, fastball on the inside corner, 0-1. Collins, the switch hitter out of Creighton. White sleeve on his right arm with gray batting gloves. 0-1 to him, skips in the dirt before it even got to the plate. A ball and a strike. Shade starting to grow over the infield now here at Stony Brook Field. Outfield still in bright sunlight. Most of the infield is as well, except for the third base side of things. 1-1. Waved on and missed. Good changeup from Dragani. 1-2. Collins out of Creighton. Naturally, a middle infielder, played a lot of second base for Creighton, was their everyday second baseman this year, but playing right today for the Gatemen. 1-2, swung on and missed. Big strikeout for Ben Dragani, his first of the day. Isaac Collins down on strikes for the second time. 2 gone for Zahid Valenzuela.
He's been a victim of that changeup a couple times tonight. Murphy got him to bite it a couple back in the first inning, and then a deadly changeup on the outside corner rung him up in that inning. This time he just can't lay off again. A couple swings and misses at balls in the dirt. Sends him down swinging.
First pitch into Zahid Valenzuela is fouled off his back as he turned to swing at an inside fastball. 0-1. Valenzuela has reached base both times he's come to the plate today. Singled and scored in the first, and then walked and scored in the third inning. He's been responsible for all of the run scoring today. Meanwhile, Jeremy Idens, who's in the hole right now, has been responsible for everything in terms of putting the ball in play. He's got 1 RBI, but it was his reaching on an error that allowed Valenzuela to score the last time around. Dragani out of the full windup, the 0-1 home. Breaking ball misses down and in, 1-1. Valenzuela hit just .270 at Cal State Fullerton this season, but that was after a freshman year here where he was the Big West Freshman of the Year. Hit .315 in his first year at Cal State. 1-1 misses inside, 2-1. All Big West first team that year. Numbers a bit down this year, but the Titans still getting all the way to the Super Regionals before they were knocked off by the Washington Huskies. Dragani comes set his 2-1 pitch. Called strike on the outside corner, 2-2. Twos across the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs for the Gatemen. Top of the 5th inning and a 2-0 lead for Wareham. Austin Shenton in the on-deck circle for Don Snedden's club. 2-2. Tapped down the left field side, but foul as it rolls out of the reach of Cam Eden.
Looked like a little bit of shades of Vlad Guerrero on that one. That looked like it was going to get dirty, but getting down there is Valenzuela, and he was ready to leg it out to first base. Takes a lot to get the bat all the way down there.
Mentioned he's a quick guy, and ran a 6.9, pretty nice time for him in the 60-yard dash at Fenway this week. One of the faster guys on the team, easily top 3 or 4 fastest players for the Gatemen this season. Dragani out of the full windup, his 2-strike pitch. Swung on and skied foul down the right field side. Jesse Franklin over to make the play, reaching to his right with the right-handed glove, and he makes the play for out number 3. Gatemen go 1-2-3 in the top of the 5th inning. We're headed to the home half. 2-0 the Gatemen lead on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Gatemen wish to thank Patty Wild for their continued support of Gatemen Baseball in Wareham.
Head on over to BB's Bar and Grill for food, drinks, and fun. Located just off Cranberry Highway, come in to sample the scrumptious fare or relax with a drink while enjoying live entertainment. The Gatemen thank BB's Bar and Grill for their support.
Established in 1877, TM Ryder is a family-run insurance agency located in downtown Middleborough, Massachusetts. TM Ryder's goal is to find the best coverage at a fair rate for their customers, but they really value giving the best service they can provide. Visit the office on Thatcher's Row if you would like P&C insurance information, quotes, and policies.
Two to nothing Gatemen in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's been a good day on the mound for Ryan Garcia. He's back for his 5th inning of work. And here for the play-by-play, actually this time, here's Cameron Stewart.
Thank you, JD. Out here is Ryan Garcia, like JD mentioned, has worked very strong here into the 5th inning. He has allowed a run in each one of his starts this year, but working on a shutout right now as the Gatemen lead it 2-0. He will now start with the number 9 man, Ike Freeman, who is 1 for 1 today. First pitch swinging, going to foul it off to the back and out of play. He had a single in his only at-bat back in the 3rd inning, but was left stranded at second base after a beautiful play by Ryan Kreidler. Would retire Brandon Martirano to end the 3rd inning. This one is a nice-looking breaking ball in there right at the knees. So he's quickly ahead of the count, 0-2. 63 pitches so far for Garcia. 0-2 is going to be down in the dirt. Check swing. They're going to say he went around, and Millis applies the tag, running out in front of home plate. And that is yet another strikeout for Ryan Garcia, brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exifaris, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen.
And that's what makes Ryan Garcia an all-star. We've seen the fastball be the out pitch thus far for Garcia, but there he turns to the breaking ball in the dirt, and it's the ability to mix up the eye level and the location and speed of these pitches that makes him so nasty, and he has been absolutely incredible today for the Gatemen.
Strikeout number 7 for him on the day. Flip back up to the top of the order. Dominic Canzone, his first pitch swinging as well. This one's going to be backhanded by Shenton. Needs the help of his pitcher, and Garcia will come over to make the out. Botches the throw around, but does get the 3-1 put out, and there's quickly 2 gone in the Brewster half of the 5th inning.
Listen, he's used to throwing home. He's not used to throwing to shortstop. When does he do that?
That's always one of these things I never really understood. It's like pitchers fielding a bunt. They're completely out of their element, and they can't just throw strikes over to first base. Must be a mental thing.
To be fair, not everybody can throw a strike over the plate every time either. So
True. That's true. Garcia does have a good tendency of it, but you're right. 2 outs, and now Cameron Eden will step to the plate, who has figured Garcia out today as he takes this first pitch on the inside corner for a called strike 1. He's 2 for 2, a couple of singles in the 1st and the 3rd for the Whitecap third baseman.
A little bit of familiarity between these two guys, a couple of Pac-12 foes.
This one going to miss down low to even the count at a ball and a strike. 2 outs, base is empty, and the Gatemen holding on to a 2-0 lead, although the Whitecaps are out hitting them 4-3. This one misses up letter high for ball 2. Of course, a great assist from the Brewster defense. There are already 3 errors on the board tonight for them. 2-1 home. Low pitch going to be skied foul off towards first base, the Gatemen dugout, and it will get just out of play as Austin Shenton was trailing over there, but it does run out of room in front of his own dugout, so the count will now go to 2-2. Garcia looking for strikeout number 8. Even 70 pitches, 43 of them for strikes today. He has walked a couple of hitters, 3 in all. 2-strike pitch, cut on and missed at a pitch in the dirt. Drew Millis will need to throw down to complete that 8th strikeout, which is all brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exifaris, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. 5 strong shutout innings for Ryan Garcia tonight, and the Gatemen still lead 2-0 here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The 2018 Cape League All-Star Game. Second. Game time is 6 p.m. Gates open at 2. One highlight will be the Cumberland Farms home run hitting contest. There will also be an autograph session and a large merchandise village with items from many of the teams. Support the Gatemen in part by purchasing your ticket right now at the merchandise booth. Tickets are just $5.
Clobbered high and deep to right center field, and this one is gone. A home run.
Eastern Propane and Oil is the Wareham Gatemen home run sponsor. Each time a home run is hit by a Gatemen player, Eastern Propane and Oil donates a camp scholarship to a deserving youth. Eastern Propane and Oil, we're in your neighborhood.
The Beach House Grill at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa is the perfect spot for a seaside lunch or evening clam bake. A proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Meat of the order coming up for Wareham in their half of the 6th inning. Still against Ben Dragani, it'll be Austin Shenton, followed by Jeremy Idens and Lyle Lockhart. But a strong start from Ryan Garcia. 5 shutout innings. He just completed his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. And you imagine with the pitch count up above 70 here in the Cape League that'll probably be his last frame. But nonetheless, we play on. Gatemen up 2. And the third baseman, who's been converted to first base, Austin Shenton, will now start the 6th inning. He has reached base twice without the benefit of a hit. Reached on an error on the third baseman Cameron Eden in the first, and then a walk in the third. So no further damage to that average, which has gone down all the way down into the 390. Still a stellar season for Shenton, and he's going to add to that right there. First pitch swinging, lines it into right field past the diving Franklin at first base. And he does have his hit today. He's on with a solid single to start off the inning.
He's hit the ball hard in all of his at-bats today. A couple of hard-hit foul balls and the walk at-bat in the third. The error that he reached on was well hit to Cam, or a couple of pitches in that at-bat were well hit. That 10-pitch AB, the one to Cam Eden wasn't all that well hit that he bounced out on, or should have bounced out on, I should say. But he always hits the ball hard no matter what.
And now your cleanup man, Jeremy Iden, squares to bunt on that one. They elected he did go around, so he's down in the count 0-1. He seems to be a bit confused about it. So is Matt Miller down at first base. He is down 0-1. He's another guy who's reached twice. A single for an RBI back in the first inning, then reached on an error, which would score Sahid Valenzuela in the third. So he has directly or indirectly driven in both the Gatemen runs tonight. Obviously does not get the RBI on the second one, as Valenzuela would have only gotten to third. Count as a ball and a strike to him. Swinging this time, and he's going to ground this into left field for a base hit. Worm Eater finds its way through to the outfield. And so far, so good for that heart of the order this inning. The first 2 men have reached with singles, and now it's up to Lyle Lockhart.
Shenton and Idens have been on 3 times each today. That's what you need from your 3-4 hitters. And now we'd like to see Lyle Lockhart get into it a little bit more here. Lockhart's missed a couple of games, at least in terms of batting, since back in that Chatham game, and didn't even hit that Chatham game because they knew he was going to pitch. So you'd like to see him start swinging a bat, a little bit better of a bat moving forward, but he hasn't been on base today, but the on-base percentage has been great for him all season. So any way you can get on would be great here for the Gatemen.
Lockhart, the switch hitter, batting right, will take this one down low and away. Both runners retreat to their bags. Lockhart from the right side of the plate, just at 250 this year. So trying to work on that is Lockhart. While only with the 250, does have 3 RBI from that spot. This one's going to be taken a little bit up, but still outside. So he's ahead of the count, 2-0 against Ben Dragani in his second inning of work.
And all of those RBIs for Lockhart this season have come on his 2 extra base hits. He's got a triple and a home run. Triple at Bourne, scored 2, and then the home run was a solo shot back at YD in that doubleheader at Red Wilson Field.
2-0 to him is going to be taken knee high for a called strike 1. 2-1's the new count. Has had some success, 2 for 3 in a very small sample size against Dragani. 2-1, misses away and up high, so everything has been outside to Lyle Lockhart. Trying to keep away from that power rally to right-handed hitters low and in. And so now it's 3-1 to the Gateman designated hitter today, who was already 0 for 2. He struck out looking in the first Flew out to right field back in the third. Big cut and a miss. He's way out in front of this one, which will put the count now full at 3-2. Austin Shenton leading off of second. Jeremy Idens leading off of first. Infield in double play depth with nobody out. 3-2 is going to be shot at the second baseman. They do have a chance for two. They flip it on to second for one. On to first. They get him there too. Beautifully turned. Grahams to Freeman to Franklin. 4-6-3 to get the twin killing. Austin Shenton moves over to third base, but there's very quickly two gone now in the sixth inning.
Just an unfortunate play for Lyle Lockhart. Although it is a productive, I suppose you could say, out. Austin Shenton moves up to third with a guy swinging not a hot bat, but a well-hit bat, I guess you could say, in Pavin Parks. Two flyouts to deep center field today.
Parks going to take this one down low and away for ball one. Came in, as we mentioned earlier, the center of the controversy as a hitter for that finished-up protest game today at Hyannis, but he actually showed out very well on the mound today. He was really dealing. He was the only pitcher the Gatemen used in that one. He's going to bounce this one to second base. It's through the hole of Graham as Tim Tuffle style. He's got a chance to get him at first, but he doesn't. Just in there safely is Pavin Parks, and in to score is Austin Shenton. Another Brewster miscue defensively gifts the Gatemen a run. It's 3-0.
Graham is not typically a second baseman, but he's out there today kind of out of necessity for the Brewster Whitecaps. Just lets that one get through his wickets momentarily. Still almost was able to pick it up and throw Pavin Parks out, but Parks reaches, and sometimes, as goes the old adage, it's sometimes better to be lucky than good.
And lucky one there for Pavin Parks. Because of that luck, he's not going to get an RBI on it. Second time we've seen that today, run scoring on an error. First pitch is in there for a called strike against Ryan Kreidler. And for those of you who don't know, Tim Tuffle was the other guy who let the ball through his legs in the 1986 World Series. Cost the Mets Game 1 playing second base for New York. But that one seems to be forgotten in the midst of things.
Just a touch.
0-1 misses up high to even things up.
Probably because, it didn't lose them the whole World Series like Bill Buckner's did.
Well, you could argue that didn't either, but it kind of did.
Nah, it was a little bit more crucial, I'd say.
Did. Yet everyone thinks the Red Sox were winning when that happened. Bob Stanley, in my opinion, had already blown it with the wild pitch to tie the game. But that's past us now, as this one's cut on and missed by Ryan Kreidler. It's 1-2 now with 2 outs. So the second unearned run in the game for the Brewster pitching staff makes it 3-0. This one's cut on and missed at a pitch down low from Kreidler. He strikes out swinging, so Dragani gets out of it. But another run in for the Gatemen. It's 3-0 Wareham as we head to the bottom half of the sixth here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Welcome back to Stony Brook. My name's Henrique DeMore, your host today, taking you through our second and final Cape League update. Still not too much going on as this game got up to a 5 o'clock start time, so a lot more ball game being played here than in other locations. But Hyannis ahead of Chatham 1-0 in the bottom of the second at McKeon Park. Tommy Jew doubling in Todd Lott in the second inning. Bourne leading YD 3-0 as they try to get out of a tailspin in Bourne. They've lost 6 straight. That's in the top of the second inning at Doran Park. Spencer Brickhouse and Ashton Bardzell with 1 RBI each. Katuitt and Harwich going at it soon at White House Field, and Falmouth will travel to Eldridge Park to take on the Orleans Firebirds. That one first pitch scheduled for 7 o'clock. That's all we got. I'll see you on the postgame show. Cam, JD, take it away.
Thank you as always to Henrique for that look around the Cape League. We do have a pitching change here from Stony Brook Field in Brewster, which is of course brought to you by the Bay Point Club on Set's 18-hole championship golf course. With a driving range open 7 days a week and senior discounts offered every day and always welcome to the public. So go and get to the point. From all-star to all-star, Ryan Garcia starts this thing, and Easton Lucas will relieve him. Another Californian from Simi Valley will come in from representing the Pepperdine Waves, and a 1-1 record on the year and a minuscule .91 ERA in his 5 appearances, 3 of them out of the bullpen. He has a save this year. He's pitched 19 2/3, struck out only 13, but has walked just 6. So a nice season, of course, for Easton Lucas, culminating in that all-star appearance that he will have Sunday at White House Field in Harwich. Last time out was maybe his best performance. 4 1/3, just 1 earned run in that 2-2 tie at Cotuit back last Thursday. Scattered 3 hits, struck out 2 in the 17 batters faced. And for him tonight against Brewster, he will take on 3, 4, and 5 Jesse Franklin, Brandon Martirano, and Connor Graham as expected in the inning. 3-0 the score. The Gatemen now finally out hitting the Whitecaps 5-4, but the big glaring number on that scoreboard, 4 Brewster errors. First offering lefty against lefty. Franklin will foul it straight back for strike 1. He's 0 for 1 today, reached on a walk in his first plate appearance in the first, and then struck out swinging back in the third. Of course, both of those off Ryan Garcia, who finishes the night 5 shutout innings, gave up 4 hits, and struck out 8, all of them swinging. Speaking of swinging, down to a knee here is Franklin, just to get barely a little bit of wood on it, and will tap it foul, and might have tweaked something in his leg as he stretches it out just a bit. He's ready to stand back in there, but down in the hole 0-2. Drew Millis checking on a bit of his shin guards here. Looks like something came a little loose there, so that's the cause for the delay. Shadows creeping just past the pitcher's mound right now. Still a lot of sun out there in the outfield. 0-2 is going to be down low, and unfortunately we have to report once again that one caught a bit of Drew Millis.
Looks like the throwing hand that time. Pretty heavily taped up, but I think that's just more for comfort's sake than anything else.
That one I think is a bit more of a stinger than the ones he saw over the weekend. Kind of shakes it off here. Umpire runs the ball out to Lucas to give him a minute. So count goes to 1-2 on the first baseman, Franklin. Here's the offering. Breaking ball down low and in, below the knees. That'll even things at 2 balls and 2 strikes. This one down in the dirt, another breaking ball that doesn't get him to bite. So from 0-2, Jesse Franklin has stayed patient and works it to a full count to lead off this bottom half of the 6th inning. This one going to run inside, and Franklin will get on with a walk. Nice battle for him there. He will lead off the inning with a free pass, man at first, ahead of Brandon Martirano.
If you think about it, Jesse Franklin could have even walked before that pitch. Chased one in the dirt where he had to go down to that one knee, but nonetheless, works a walk from Easton Lucas, one of the best pitchers on this Gatemen pitching staff. And now Brandon Martirano trying to get this rally going for Brewster.
This guy who's 0 for 2 today, first pitch, he will slice back to the backstop just like Franklin before him for strike 1. Struck out to leave 2 stranded in the first inning, and then was robbed by that great Ryan Kreidler play that ended the third once again, leaving 2 stranded. So 4 left aboard with the North Carolina Tar Heel at the plate tonight. 0-1, bounced foul. Bit of deja vu. It looks exactly like how Jesse Franklin fell down 0-2. He was able to work a walk. Still yet to be seen for the designated hitter tonight, who's hitting at just .236 on the Cape League season. 2 homers, 5 RBI. 0-2, reaches out, and he's going to poke this one into left field for a base hit. So like the Gatemen did with their 3-4 hitters to start off the 6th inning, the first two get on for the 3-4 men for Brewster off of Easton Lucas, who has not had to face too much trouble all year. Men at first and second with nobody out here in the 6th inning.
Good pitch, better piece of hitting from Brandon Martirano there. He had to reach out, and he still was able to pull it in between the shortstop and third baseman. That's a sign of a really good hitter. The numbers haven't been there for Martirano, but he came in pretty highly touted out of UNC.
And now Chris Wright will take over the running duties at second base for Jesse Franklin. Not too many men have gotten into scoring position for Brewster tonight, trying to cut into a 3-0 lead. Connor Gramis will now step in. Whitecaps have already featured 2 left-handers today, and they've got another one warming up down the left field line in their bullpen. First offering to Gramis is going to be bounced on the ground to shortstop, and it takes a wicked hop over the glove of Ryan Kreidler, and coming around to score is Wright. Throw into third will be close, but in there safely is Martirano, and the Whitecaps are all over Easton Lucas so far, and they've got one on the board. It's now 3-1.
Not much you can do there if you're Easton Lucas or Ryan Kreidler. It looked like a tailor-made double play, and it just took a nasty, nasty hop off the lip of the infield grass. Sometimes them's are the breaks, Cam Stewart.
Yeah, that one you really can't even put on Kreidler. He is back on it, and just right before him takes a hop wicked enough to get over his tall frame and outstretched glove. So a bit of home field advantage, if you will, for the Whitecaps. And not out of the woods yet, obviously. Nobody out and runners at the corners. Now Hunter Bishop will step up to the plate. This one going to miss up high for ball 1. First bit of trouble we've seen from Easton Lucas in a while is only a .91 ERA coming into this game. Gave up a run in 4 1/3 his last time out against the Kettleers. 1-0 not to be made just yet. They'll check on Gramis over at first base, but he's back in there standing up. The left-handed hitter, Gatemen not really in double play depth right now. Saeed Valenzuela at his normal second base spot. Kreidler at shortstop, shading a bit towards center field. This one's going to be fouled straight back, and the count evens at 1-1. I think maybe more frustrating for Lucas in this inning, those first 2 hitters reaching. He was ahead 0-2 on both of them. Lost one to a walk, and then a single to Martirano. And the first man, Franklin, was replaced by Chris Wright, who just came around to score. 1-1, slow breaking ball, left up high. 2-1 the count now. Bishop 1 for 2 today. Singles first time up in the second. Swinging strikeout back in the fourth. 2-1, pops him up. Foul territory, slams the bat down in disgust, but this one is going to fall foul off the top of the Whitecaps dugout. So bring it on back, Hunter. You've got another shot. The count even at 2-2.
I think he just liked the pitch so much he was just mad at himself for missing it.
Knows he missed that one there. And it just carried off to the left. Looked like Paven Parks, the way he reacted, he thought he was going to camp under it. But instead, it is 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, and still runners at the corners for Brewster. Pickoff move once again, standing in there is Gramis. Bishop at just 197 on the year, a little bit below that Mendoza line. 2 homers, 12 RBI for the Whitecaps. Stays alive here, fouls this one straight back. And Bishop showed the frustration earlier on a foul ball. Drew Millis that time pounding his glove, got a piece of it, but could not hold on for the strikeout.
And even Bishop was a little bit frustrated with himself there again. flung his hand out as if to say, come on, man, you can do better than that.
Lucas has caused quite a few guys fits this year. This one's going to miss outside, so he works to another full count. It's been a bit of a laborious inning. That was pitch number 16, and he's still yet to record an out. But a big one upcoming here. Lucas tries not to load the bases. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Here's the 3-2. Going to be rifled out to the right and out of play. Well out in front of it was Bishop that time. Gatemen will head out to the east once again tomorrow to take on the Harwich Mariners at White House Field. 6 o'clock start time for them. Another throw over to no avail from Lucas. Once again, the payoff pitch going to be bounced on the ground to second. Another big hop, but Valenzuela is able to get it, and then over to first after the force out at second will not get Gramis. So he reaches on a fielder's choice, and coming in to score that time, another Brewster run, and the lead is now cut to 1. It's just 3-2.
Not much you could have done there if you're Sahid Valenzuela. Like you said, took a high hop. He made a good throw, and Kreidler made a good throw coming over the bag. And 2 tough breaks in a row for the Gatemen. One could have gotten a double play, and that one would have been able to help them along, get them out of the inning with that fielder's choice. This one could have also been a double play, and still you have just 1 out and a runner on at first.
So that one will go down as an RBI for Gramis as they throw over and he gets back into first base. Still just 1 out in the inning. First offering to the catcher, Joe Donovan's going to miss outside. 4-1, 1-0. Donovan at 280 this year. No homers. The RBI has not yet seen Easton Lucas. 1-0 is going to be in there for a called strike. Donovan has yet to record an at-bat tonight. He has walked twice. A couple of plate appearances. Step over and throw over will not get Bishop over there at first base. Shenton holding him on, so that leaves a big hole. But the Donovan, the right-hand hitter, would have to push it the other way to get it through there. One, missing up high. So Lucas has had some trouble finding the strike zone this inning. He's only accounted for 1 walk, but some deep counts. Now at 2-1, 20 pitches to only record 1 out and 2 runs already in. Lucas steps off here before the 2-1 offering. Here it is, cut on and missed at a pitch way up above neck level for Donovan. Chases after it though. And Easton Lucas has a chance to strike out here. Not many that he gets, but the count is at 2-2. Two offering, just gonna miss, a bit outside, below the belt of Donovan. But Millis cannot put his framing efforts to good work there, and the count will run full once again. Third full count of the inning, second one that turns into a walk. This one going to miss low and inside, and another man reaches, and JD, this really just isn't Easton Lucas's night.
Just hasn't had the stuff thus far. He could still get out of this inning with the lead. 1 out, but force at any base right now with runners at first and second, so theoretically a ground ball from Alejo would get them out of the inning. He's already bounced into one ground ball today. Rounded out 6-4 to end the fourth inning. If he puts another similar swing on the ball and it ends up in a similar spot, could start a 6-4-3 double play and get the Gatemen out of it.
Now the UCF Golden Knight, Ray Alejo, will step in. Pops this one up. Straight in the air on the infield. First baseman Austin Shenton coming in. Infield fly rule in effect. And he will make the catch for good measure. And there's 2 gone in the inning. A big out there by Easton Lucas.
He needed that one because now any out gets you out of the inning. You don't have to hope. You don't have to wait on a double play ball. That's a good hitter in Ray Alejo, who has been struggling a bit this season and has struggled in this game 0 for 3. But after you have really struggled with your location, to be able to get him to fly out on an elevated fastball is exactly what Easton Lucas's confidence needed moving forward.
And he gets Alejo out on 1 pitch, and now Ike Freeman, the number 9 man, will stand in, playing shortstop tonight for the Whitecaps. First pitch, inside corner, right at the knees. Good-looking one from Easton Lucas for a called strike 1. Freeman's 1 for 2. Single in the 3rd, strikeout in the 5th. It was the last inning of work by Ryan Garcia. His only 1-2-3 inning came in the 5th. A couple of runs and a couple of hits this inning for the Whitecaps has cut into that lead. Ground ball to third base. Paven Parks will throw over to first base, and that's all the Whitecaps will get in this inning. They push 2 across. We have got a ball game from Stony Brook Field. It's 3-2 Gatemen as we head to the 7th here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Wareham Gatemen is New England's most experienced precision soil blenders and is trusted by over 300 golf courses throughout New England.
At E.L. Morse Lumber, commitment to the customer shines through in every aspect of their daily operations, including their competitive prices, complete product selection, and superior customer care. Visit E.L. Morse Lumber, located on Cranberry Highway in Wareham, for service with a personal touch.
The 7th inning we go. Still the left-hander Ben Dragani out there on the mound. In a game that has become very interesting after the Whitecaps scored twice to answer the Gatemen run in the 6th. 3-2 is our score. Here from Stony Brook Field in Brewster. It'll be 8-9-1 for the Gatemen due up, starting with the switch hitting catcher Drew Millis. Millis 0 for 2 today, struck out looking in the 2nd. And then a bouncer to shortstop retired him in the 4th. First offering to him is going to miss outside for ball 1. Millis, one of the guys who poked one over the Green Monster during the Fenway workout and batting practice. So did the guy behind him, Skylar Hunter, another switch hitter that would bat right. This one cut on through by Millis to even the count at 1-1. Also accomplishing that feat, Gian Martellini and Cade Cavalli. Fulfilling a lot of bets from the Gatemen back on Monday. A lot of them picked Cavalli to do so, and he put one in the very back of the Green Monster off the back signage. This one's fouled straight behind us. So Millis is now down in the count 1-2. Missing down low there. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two. Gonna miss outside. Coming out of his crouch is Donovan to go and grab it. Now the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to the switch hitting catcher out of Missouri State. Payoff pitch misses up high, and Drew Millis comes back from down 1-2, works a walk to lead things off here in the 7th. And the Gatemen have a man on with nobody out. Skylar Hunter will now stand in. Had a hit back in the 3rd inning and would advance to second on the error by the right fielder Ray Alejo. Squares around a bunt, but this pitch misses down low. 4-1. Hunter is probably the best bunter we have seen on this Gatemen team this year. Has laid down a couple of beauties for base hits back earlier in the season. He's going to bounce this one off home plate, foul ball. Most notably a couple of bunt singles against Chatham earlier in the year. Isaac Collins on deck representing the top of the Wareham order. 1-1 the count, nobody out, and Drew Millis at first base. Squaring around a bunt again, but doesn't get it down this time, and it's in there for a strike. So that's going to put the count at 1-2 on the Gatemen center fielder. One, two, down low and away. Hunter able to lay off and even things up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two, reaching out is Hunter. Ground ball, but a slow one to second. On to second for 1, and on to first. Hunter grounds into the double play that erases the leadoff walk. 6-4-3 on the twin killing. And now there's quickly 2 outs. Nobody on. Isaac Collins will stand in and bat right-handed again for the 4th time tonight. 0 for 3 going into this at-bat. A ground out to first base sandwiched by a couple of strikeouts. This one is in there for a called strike to the Gatemen right fielder. One to Collins. He's just going to get a piece and foul it straight back for strike 2. Oh, and 2 outs, base is empty. If Collins is able to reach Zahid Valenzuela, the second baseman will come up next. .318 on the year for Collins, but he's going to go down this time, and Donovan able to catch it off the ground to complete the strikeout. Gatemen get a leadoff walk, but he's erased with a double play, and then the strikeout by Isaac Collins, so facing the minimum is Dragani in the inning. We're going to go to the bottom of the 7th with a 3-2 lead that Wareham is still clinging to. The game that has gotten interesting. We're going to hear in just a moment what Coach Don Snedden had to say about it. He is sitting down right now with our Mary orders, so we are going to send it to Mary right now.
last 2 innings to pitch really well. That's the guy we need right there. Had control of his fastball, missed down, and was able to get his breaking ball over. He struggled earlier, but being a good pitcher, he managed to, again, keep them off the board.
And what adjustments do you need from Lucas to get back to this?
Well, I mean, he was wild. He walked a guy. We had a double play ball, took a bat hop. That's the way baseball works on that. Otherwise, we would have been out of that inning. So he's got to get fastball control himself in order for his breaking ball to be more effective.
Coach, thanks so much. Guys, back to you.
And we will be back to you.
Thank you, Mary, with Coach Don Snedden there. Easton Lucas is out for a second inning of work here in the bottom half of the 7th. 3-2 our score here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Wareham will travel down to Harwich tomorrow to take on the Mariners for the second time in 5 days. Had that great comeback against Harwich back on Sunday night, down 6-2 in the 9th inning. Were able to tie the game at 6 in that inning, coming off a 3-run double by Luke Roscom. And then a walk-off wild pitch brought Isaac Collins home for a wild, sporadic 7-6 Gatemen victory. And now it's the top of the order for the Whitecaps here in the 7th. Dominic Canzone, the Ohio State Buckeye, will start things off against Easton Lucas. And he will ground the first pitch through the hole. It's going to be Valenzuela knocking it down on the right field grass, but no play over at first. That'll go down as the 7th hit of the night for the Whitecaps, the 3rd in an inning plus off of Easton Lucas. And Canzoni is at first to start things off here in the 7th inning. So man at first, Cameron Eden, the third baseman, will now stand in. He's the last of the Whitecaps who has not faced Easton Lucas tonight. Well, actually, I should correct that. Chris Wright is on deck. He came in to pinch run for Jesse Franklin, who led off the last inning. First pitch from Lucas, missing inside. 1-0 the count. This guy who has struggled with a bit of command so far in this outing. You heard Don Snedden talk to Mary about that. See if he's able to bear down and find the strike zone a bit more this inning and keep the game where it's at right now, 3-2 in the Gatemen favor. This one is going to miss down low and away. 2-0 to Eden. Lucas going to step off as Eden grants time ahead of this 2-0 offering with nobody out and a man at first in Dominic Canzone. .20 is going to catch the outside corner. Nice frame by Drew Millis and a late call by the home plate umpire, but it's a 2-1 count now. Pickoff throw is low and dug out there by Austin Shenton, but Canzone will get back in there at first base. Lucas, look at first base now. We'll have a snap throw over there. Not even lifting the leg, all arm that time. But Canzone is back in there once again. They're paying close attention to him. Cameron Eden at .259 on the season, 2 for 3 tonight. He's going to have a hot shot off the glove of Paven Parks at third base. And Canzone will get down to second on it. Wait to see how that one's scored. It will be a hit. Parks just unable to get in front of it off his glove. And like in the 6th inning, the first two men reach for the Whitecaps in the inning off of Easton Lucas. So now Chris Wright will stand in. That's the third single of the day for Cameron Eden. And now this will be the last guy in the Whitecaps lineup who has not seen Easton Lucas tonight. A left-on-left matchup. First pitch, Wright going to square around, but pulls it back as this one misses down low and away. And now Drew Millis going to put a different infield alignment out here with it looks like the sacrifice bunt on. Men at first and second and nobody out. Pavin Parks, the third baseman, in on the grass. Austin Shenton, the first baseman, in on the grass. And Ryan Kreidler playing behind the runner at second base. Lucas is 1-0 to Wright. This one is going to be down for ball 2 on another bunt attempt by the Bryant Bulldog. They're going to appeal down to the second base umpire to see if he went around. He did not, so it does stand at 2-0 to Chris Wright, who's hitting at just 206 on the year. Not much of a run producer. No homers, no RBI. Square around by Wright again. This one's going to be bunted foul down the third base line. So put a strike on him the easy way if you're Easton Lucas. 2-1. Bit of a weird one so far with the Gatemen leading 3-2. Brewster has out-hit them 8-5 and have put 4 errors to the Gatemen's none on the board. Couple of close calls that have all gone for hits for the Whitecaps today at home. Wright stands back in there, 2-1 the count with runners at first and second, nobody out in the Brewster half of the 7th inning. Squares, and this one's foul. Off to the on-deck circle. We've seen a bit of it from the Whitecaps tonight, inability to lay down a sacrifice. Came back to bite them earlier. See what happens now as the bunt should be off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lucas gets the sign he likes from Millis. Glove to the chest, here's the 2-2. Rocketed into right field for a base hit. They are going to hold up Canzone at third base. Cobain, can you hear them singing songs off station to station? A base hit will load up the bases with nobody out for the Whitecaps, threatening to tie this game and possibly take the lead. 3 straight singles here in the 7th inning. And slowly creeping up from his seat, Jim Lawler is going to come out. He is out to the mound to discuss strategy. And you can discuss investment strategy with Joe Crespi from Merrill Lynch, who sponsors this trip to the mound. It has been a very absurd performance from Easton Lucas today. Not something we have seen from him all year. Really struggling. 36 pitches in just an inning now. Has allowed 2 to come in, and we are going to have a pitching change here from Stony Brook Field in Brewster. Bases loaded, nobody out. We'll give you the new Gatemen pitcher when we come back here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program to put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration of Red Shirt Fridays is sponsored by 47 Brand, HP Hood, Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, Advanced Embroidery, and the Cape League. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
The Bay Point Golf Club offers a unique collection of 18 championship golf holes, a beautiful banquet facility, and a club host that has a fully stocked pro shop. The Bay Point Grill is a perfect place to grab a meal or watch a game. The course is located off of Onset Avenue in Buzzards Bay. The Gatemen thank you for your support.
One of the Gatemen's favorite places for their post-game meals is Cool Cone, where you can get anything from fried clams and fried chicken to an ice cream sundae, and then top it all off with a round of mini golf. Cool Cone, located on Route 6 on the Wareham-Marion line.
Back here and still the bottom of the 7th inning from Stony Brook Field in Brewster. Pitching change for the Gatemen is brought to you by the Bay Point Club on Set's 18-hole championship golf course. With a driving range open 7 days a week and senior discounts offered every day and always welcome to the public, so get to the point. Inheriting a disaster from Easton Lucas so far with the bases loaded and nobody out is the new look, clean cut Zach Hart on the mound. No more long flowing Goldilocks. He's got it cut down and it's brown. It's natural color, so a lot of guys in our group having to double check that is number 35 Zach Hart on the mound, and it is. He comes in for his 8th appearance on the year, no record, a 2.38 ERA, has recorded a save, struck out just 7 in 11 in the 3rd innings pitched, walked 1 and has allowed 13 hits in that span. Last time he was out there was that 2-2 tie at Cotuit, a blown save for him. An inning and 2/3. He did not have an earned run, but allowed 3 hits, struck out 2. Brandon Martirano, the designated hitter from North Carolina, will come up and try to further the damage for the Whitecaps, who pushed 2 across in the 6th. Now have the bases loaded here in the 7th. First pitch to him, up above the belt, ball 1. Martirano is 1 for 3 today. He singled his last time up in the 6th inning off of Easton Lucas. Swung right through it there, did the designated hitter. Count evens at a ball and a strike. Gatemen trying to avoid another nightmare here at Stony Brook after losing 8-1 in their only other appearance here in the 2018 season. Have had a 3-0 lead whittled down to 3-2. The Whitecaps looking for more. This one knee high and a called strike. A beautiful pitch there from Zach Hart. He's ahead of Martirano, 1 and 2. To the belt, here's the 1-2. Late defensive swing, and it's going to be skied foul off to the right and out of play. Keep things right there at a ball and 2 strikes. It's Hart's first appearance of the 8 against Brewster, so everyone getting their first looks at the right-hander from Franklin Pierce. 1-2, breaking ball, cut on and missed by Martirano. A huge out there from Zach Hart. It's the first one of the inning. That strikeout is brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard, the official strikeout sponsor of your Wareham Gatemen. So the bases stay loaded, but now there's 1 out here in the 7th. And Connor Grams, the second baseman, will stand in from the right side. First pitch going to miss up high. 4-1, 1-0. Gramus 1 for 3 today. A single, an RBI single his last time up in the 6th inning. That pushed across the first run of the day for the Whitecaps, made it 3-1. This one knee high, called strike 1. One's across the board, a ball, a strike, and out. But 3 Whitecaps on the base paths. One is going to be fouled straight back to the screen. Put hard ahead of the count, 1-2. Against Gramus, who is at just 214 on the year, 4 homers and 8 RBI for the Whitecaps. Those 4 homers, though, good enough for the team lead. one out, here's the 1-2. On the ground to short. A diving stop by Kreidler. They flip to second for one. They will not get the man at first base. And this game is tied. Ganzone comes home to score. 3-3 here in the 7th inning at Stony Brook Field. It was a remarkable play by Kreidler to keep it at 1 run and keep it out of center field. And just flips it over to Valenzuela for the out at second. Now 2 gone in the inning, runners at the corners. And no win tonight for Ryan Garcia. 3-3 our new score. So 2 of the 3 brought home by Gramis tonight. This one going to miss down low and away to Hunter Bishop, the center fielder, who has the other run driven in. Reached on a fielder's choice. That scored the 2nd run of the 6th inning. 1-0. In there for a called strike at the knees, 1-1. Two outs, the 1-1 is going to be wasted foul off to the left. 1-2 now. Zach Hart is ahead of Hunter Bishop. Still just at 197 on the year. Coming out of Arizona State. Hart to the belt, the 1-2. Going to miss outside and low. Millis giving him a nod of encouragement as he tosses the ball back. Even count, 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs in the frame. Two late defensive swing fouled off above the screen behind home plate. So that count stays right there at 2-2. Cameron Eden at third base, Connor Gramis at first base. A run in to tie the game here in the 7th. Two is going to be bounced up the middle. Diving to keep it in front of him is Sahid Valenzuela. They flip over to second, but it's not in time. And another run is home, and for the first time today, the Whitecaps have battled back and have the lead. It's 4-3. Another one just in between that Valenzuela kept in front of him but couldn't get the flip over. It's the 10th hit of the day for Brewster. Joe Donovan out of Michigan will come up now. 13 men sent to the plate in the last inning in 2/3. This is the 14th, and an absolutely shattered bat is going to be a tough play for Parks. Throw on to first, gets away. Dead ball, everyone moves up, and another run in. The nightmare continues for the Gatemen. It's 5-3 Whitecaps. From bad to worse, now a 2-run Brewster lead. 3 home in the inning.
Wearing number 22 from the Knights of the University of Central Florida. Here's right fielder, Ray Alejo.
So now men at second and third. It was a single and an E5 on Pavin Parks. 2 men still in scoring position. Ray Alejo keeps this inning alive, or keeps it going as he's now at the plate. This one going to miss down low and away. 4-1. Whitecaps looking to split the season series between the Gatemen. Lost the first two at Spillane Field. Already with a win here at Stony Brook Field this year. It's going to be bounce foul into the Brewster on deck circle. 1-1 now the count. This one is going to be a called strikes. The count at 1-2. Gatemen now in danger of being 3 points back potentially tonight. Hyannis with an 8-0 lead over the Chatham Anglers over at McKeon Park. Wareham now trailing 5-3 and down to their last 6 offensive outs. One-two is going to be slapped to right field. Moving back on it is Isaac Collins, but he is under it going towards the line. Will make the catch that finally ends the inning. 2 in the 6th for the Whitecaps, now 3 in the 7th, and they take a 5-3 lead as we head to the 8th here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Gatemen would like to thank Wareham after games. They are located about a quarter of a mile from the field on Route 6, offering a convenience store, a Dunkin' Donuts, and a deli.
Got legal trouble? Attorney Mark Deshays is here to help the greater New Bedford area with real estate and business law, estate planning, and probate. Visit him today.
Get Gatemen gear. Check out the latest styles and colors of your favorite Gatemen apparel. Also in stock, a large selection of Cape League items, including tickets to the All-Star Game. Test your pitching speed and pick up a souvenir ball, all at our merchandise booth.
Back here from Brewster, where the Whitecaps now hold a 5-3 lead. They've got a new pitcher on the mound. Another lefty, Clemson's Jacob Hennessy, out of Moore, South Carolina, will now stand in. A 1-2 record on the year, 3.42 ERA, and this is his 7th appearance. 3 of those were starts for the Whitecaps. Struck out just 16 and walked only 2 in 21 innings pitched. And he has not faced the Gatemen this year, so everyone getting their first look at him from the Wareham standpoint. It'll be 2-3-4. Zahid Valenzuela, Austin Shenton, and Jeremy Idens due up in this inning. So those are the guys you want up if you're Wareham. Now down a couple of runs. They each have hits today. Each have reached base multiple times. Gage Workman is now into the game for the Whitecaps over at shortstop. So he replaces Ike Freeman, whose spot was due up next after Ray Alejo, the number 8 man, ended that inning. So Valenzuela will stand in, and while he faces another pitcher, will still bat from the right side. Switch hitting second baseman from Cal State Fullerton. It's 1 for 2 today. Single in the first, walk in the third, and popped out his last time up in the 5th. And this one comes inside on Valenzuela, but it's actually going to nab the home plate umpire right up on the thigh. So coming out to bring the ball to his pitcher is Joe Donovan. Give him a minute. 5-3 is our new score. 5 runs on 11 hits for the Whitecaps. Still that big, 4 errors for them. 3 runs on 5 hits with just 1 error for the Gatemen. That last half inning, when sending 8 men to the plate, Brewster scored 3 times, 5 hits, all of them singles. Left 2 men on base and were benefited by 1 error by the Gatemen. 1-0 to Valenzuela. That one's going to miss inside as well. So he's ahead of the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Sun's starting to go down over the trees here at Stony Brook Field, which is one of 3 ballparks in the Cape League without lights. Shattered bat, and this one is going to bloop, and it will be caught out of the air. Gage Workman is able to get in front of it after the third baseman Eden tried at it, but instead it's caught out of the air by the shortstop, and Valenzuela is retired for out number 1 of the inning. Austin Shenton will now stand in. Gateman first baseman does have his token hit tonight. He's reached base 3 times. He reached on an error in the first, walk in the third, and a single in the 6th, bringing that average up to 393. This one's in there for a called strike. Ike Freeman has actually stayed in the game, so my apologies on that. Freeman has moved to second base, so out of the game is Connor Gramis, it appears right now, as this one is in there for a called strike, and Shenton is quickly down in the count 0-2. 0-2 is going to be bounced on the ground in the direction of Ike Freeman, moving towards first base, rushes the throw over there, and it's a quick 2 up and 2 down for Jacob Hennessy in the top half of the 8th inning. Now another guy who's had an impressive night, Jeremy Idens, will now step up to the plate. RBI single got the scoring started back in the 1st inning, would then single again back in the 6th, his last time up. First offering to him is going to miss inside. Idens bends out of the way, and he's ahead of the count 1-0. We'll check swing there. And it did catch a bit of his bat. We didn't really hear it from here. The count now does stand at 1-1. One gonna miss up high just below the script Gatemen on the cranberry uniforms. 2-1 the new count with 2 outs and nobody aboard. 2-1's gonna be bounced up the middle, gonna be a tough play for the shortstop, and it will not be made. It gets past Workman and into center field. 3rd hit of the night for Jeremy Idens, all of them singles, and he keeps the 8th inning alive. That'll now fall on Lyle Lockhart, switch hitter, batting right, designated hitter. He's had a tough day today, 0 for 3. Strikeout, fly out, and grounded into a double play his last time up in the 6th inning. What could have been a big inning for the Gatemen. They did get one in to make it 3-0 before 5 unanswered by the Whitecaps. First pitch is going to be skied foul back behind home plate, 0-1. Oh, called strike outside corner. Lyle Lockhart shaking his head, didn't like that one. And now he's down in the hole, 0-2, with 2 outs and Jeremy Idens leading off of first base. 0-2 misses up high. Lockhart lays off. A ball and 2 strikes. Left-hand hitting third baseman Paven Parks waits on deck. Lockhart going to reach out for this one and send it towards right field. Alejo is under it for the out that retires the side. Go to the bottom of the 8th. Gatemen leave one stranded. Still trail 5-3 here in the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Gatemen Baseball is officially sponsored professionals located on Cranberry Highway in Wareham. We are proud to sponsor the Gatemen Youth Clinic for 2018. Robertson's GMC. We are professional grade. Power like a pro.
Soft as a Grape has 10 retail locations on Cape Cod, so even when you're cheering on your Gatemen at any away games, stop into a Soft as a Grape store for the best Cape Cod products. Stores located in Falmouth, Mashpee, Woods Hole, Hyannis, Chatham, Provincetown, Edgartown, Oak Bluffs, and Vineyard Haven. From beach day to every day, Soft as a Grape has you covered.
The law firm of Lang, Exafaris and Bullard, providing families and businesses in the greater New Bedford community with legal services for 40 years. We look forward to serving you. For an appointment, call 508-992-1270. We invite you to learn more about the law firm of Lang, Exafaris and Bullard by visiting our website, lxblaw.com.
Back here for the bottom of the 8th inning, it's still the new look Zach Hart out there. 5-3 lead for the Whitecaps now, but it's been an impressive night for Jeremy Idens, who is 3 for 4. So he has half of the Gatemen's hits. And last time out here at Stony Brook, he had 2 of the 5 that Wareham had all night. So he does like hitting in this ballpark. So it is still Ike Freeman, who was moved from shortstop to second base, keeps his spot in the batting order, and is ahead of the count 1-0 as the first pitch from Zach Hart misses outside.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves
in the strike zone, as it's a called strike to even things at 1-1. One late swing, and it's going to be bounced foul off to the right. So Hart's ahead of the first hitter of the 8th inning, 1-2. Freeman at 176 on the year out of North Carolina. No homers, 3 RBI. Bounces this one a high chopper to third. Paven Parks takes it off one hop. Throw over to first base. 5-3 easy put out for the first out of the 8th inning. Back to the top of the order, Dominic Canzone, who is 1 for 4 tonight. Started 0 for 3, but a single his last time up in the 7th, 1 of 5 in the inning for the Whitecaps. This one on the outside corner for a called strike 1. Canzone, the team's leading hitter coming into today, .311 average, 31 points higher than the next closest man. This one's going to miss inside for a ball 1-1. This one's going to be sliced foul off to the left, into the woods. 1-2 now for the second straight hitter. One-two, low and away. Down to get it is Drew Millis. But things even up. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Whitecap left fielder. One out. Here's the 2-2. Put in play. Bounce towards Kreidler, who's covering back behind second base, ranging in a nice play over there to throw on to Austin Shenton for the second out of the inning. He had a long way to go. It was behind the second base bag, makes the throw on the run going towards first. A couple of flashy plays we have seen from Kreidler tonight. And now there's 2 gone in the 8th ahead of Cameron Eden.
For your Brewster Whitecaps from Cal, third baseman, Cameron Eden.
With 2 outs, the first offering to Eden is on the outside corner for a called strike 1. Eden is 3 for 4 today, 3 singles. A single in the first, and the third, and the 7th. Behind on this one, so he is behind in the count, 0-2. He also struck out in the 5th inning to end Ryan Garcia's night. The 8th and final for the Gatemen starter. 0-2, fisted and foul off in front of the Gatemen dugout. So he stays alive at that 0-2 count. Zach Hart coming in on that one to jam Eaton, but he stays alive. Oh, 2 cut on and miss. He's well out in front of it. And a 1-2-3 bounce back inning for Zach Hart sets the Whitecaps down in the 8th. We head to the 9th. Last chance for the Gatemen. They trail 5-3 here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development, online at www.curry.edu.
Beat the heat and join us at Waterways, a water experience unlike any other this side of the bridge. Open daily, head over to the water park on Route 28, the Cranberry Highway.
Folks, after the game, be sure food in Wareham. The Cantina provides a delicious late-night snack accompanied by fun cocktails.
Back here for the 9th inning here at Stony Brook Field. Gatemen looking to claw themselves back into this. Down 5-3. Alongside me, J.D. Rachi, I'm Cameron Stewart. It's been one that's gotten away from the Gatemen so far, held a 3-0 lead, but 2 in the 6th for the Whitecaps, 3 in the 7th. Gets us to where we are right now, 5 unanswered. And going into this 9th inning, 6, 7, and 8 due up. Paven Parks, Ryan Kreidler, and Drew Millis look to keep this thing alive. Whitecaps, who sit in the basement of both the Eastern Division and the Cape Cod League, look for just their 9th win of the year. One defensive change for Brewster out in left field. The Tennessee Volunteer, Justin Ammons, is now into the game. The first pitch from Jacob Hennessy in his 2nd inning will catch the outside corner for a called strike to Parks, 0-1. This one on the outside corner again. Good frame job by Joe Donovan behind the plate. And Parks is quickly behind in the count, 0-2. Parks 0 for 3 today. 0-2 on the outside corner, unhittable pitch. And Parks takes it for strike 3.
That is a nasty pitch from Jacob Hennessy. Absolutely filthy to the left-handed batter. Just right on the black, and like you said, Cam, unhittable for even a really great hitter in Paven Parks.
So Parks is down without number 1 of the 9th. Ryan Kreidler will now step in. First offering to him is low and inside for ball 1. 0 for 3 tonight at the plate, but has flashed the leather a couple times at his shortstop position. 1-0 is going to be slapped foul down the left field line. So it's now 1-1.
Just barely out in front of an elevated fastball that time from Jacob Hennessy. He wanted it so bad that he turned on it a little bit too quickly. That could have been easy extra bases for Kreidler if he straightens it out.
Kreidler's going to bounce this on the ground to short. New shortstop Gage Workman will throw it on to first. And the Gatemen are down to their last out here at Stony Brook. That responsibility will fall on the shoulders of Drew Millis. 0 for 2 tonight, but reached on a walk his last time up in the 7th inning. First offering, fouled straight back. Will hit a pole and find its way over the protective netting. Behind home plate, it's 0-1. Outside corner, called strike 2. The Gatemen down to their last strike. Home team has won each of the first 3 between these two teams this year. Brewster looks to make it even 2-2. This one is going to miss down low. Ball 1. Ball and 2 strikes now the count. With 2 outs and the base is empty, so the tying run is on deck right now in the person of Skylar Hunter. 1-2, misses up, letter high. And Millis has worked the count back even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 206 on the year for the Gatemen catcher. No homers, 3 RBI. Two. He's going to smoke this one out to left center field, and it's in there for a base hit. Cutting it off nicely is the center fielder Hunter Bishop, but the Gatemen have a pulse here in the 9th inning with 2 outs. Drew Millis is aboard.
Tying run at the plate now if you're the Gatemen. Skylar Hunter, who's been swinging a hot bat of late. He's got a single in today's game back in the 3rd inning, so this Hunter at bat obviously crucial, but even more crucial because if he finds a way on, they turn it over to the top of the order.
It is Isaac Collins waiting on deck. First pitch to Hunter's up the middle. It's going to be off the glove of Hennessy. Real tough play. Workman's not going to be able to make it, and the ball gets away. Hunter was going to reach at first base, and he will stay there, but down to third base goes Drew Millis. And the pulse starts to beat a little bit faster for the Gatemen. They have runners at the corners and the tying run at first base with 2 outs in the 9th.
Just got to get runners on. Gatemen came back from a 4-run lead not too many days ago against against Harwich at home. So this team has a lot of fight in it, and you got the top of the order now. Isaac Collins is 0 for 4 today, but he is due for a big hit. This is a guy that does not go away quietly and does not go away easily. He will have a productive at-bat here, even if it just rings up the pitch count.
As dusk is falling here in Brewster, first pitch is pounded in there for a called strike. So Hunter gets the benefit of a hit and then a throwing error on Workman, the shortstop. Gets Millis from second to third. 0-1, missing up and away, 1-1. Collins already with the hat trick tonight, 3 strikeouts, 0 for 4 night for him. Due for 1 here with runners at the corners and 2 outs. Waits on one and slaps it foul off to the right and out of play. For the second time in this inning, the Gatemen down to their last strike. It's 1-2. Zahid Valenzuela waits on deck for them.
Collins barely missed that one. If he had just waited a half second later, could have driven it into right field and scored Drew Millis.
It's Millis who leads off of third on the outside corner, called strike 3. A tough one to take, left with the bat on his shoulder. Isaac Collins trots back, and it's just the 9th win of the year for the Brewster Whitecaps, but split the season series with the now comfortably second place Wareham Gatemen. 5-3 is your final here from Stony Brook Field in Brewster. It was 5 unanswered for the Whitecaps that gives them this victory, a team that the Gatemen have had fits against all year, and they split the series 2-2. An ugly one, 6 errors between the two teams, 19 hits and 8 runs. But a stellar start from Ryan Garcia, who struck out 8 along 5 shutout innings. JD, what was there to take positively from the Gatemen tonight?
Well, I like what I saw out of Jeremy Idens. He had 3 hits on the day. He just continues to rake from that 4 spot in the lineup. You would have liked to see a couple of more base runners get on ahead of him so he could drive in a couple of more runs. Zahid Valenzuela with another very impressive day at the plate. He reaches twice. And the big positive takeaway of the day, how about Ryan Garcia continuing to dominate this league? Came into the day with a 2.25 ERA, 5 scoreless innings, his first scoreless appearance of the season, plus the strikeouts just continue to come for the UCLA right-hander. He has been absolutely masterful on the mound, 8 Ks tonight across 5 innings, just 4 hits allowed. He got out of trouble in the first 3 innings, and then it was smooth sailing in the 4th and the 5th. If his pitch count hadn't been so high, he easily could have gone 6 or 7 in this game and been really effective. I was incredibly impressed with what Ryan Garcia brought to the mound today.
Even in defeat, both Ryan Garcia and Jeremy Idens showing why they deserve to be all-stars for the Western Division this year. And it turns out to be a kind of a double-header loss for the Gatemen today. They lose the protested game down in Hyannis at noon and now drop one to the basement-dwelling Whitecaps 5-3 here on the road. That's going to do it for JD and I here on the broadcast. Now for the Gatemen Postgame Show, I'm going to throw it to our host today, Henrique de Moore.
Thank you very much.
Cam and JD. Thank you so much for a great call today. Yeah, tough one today for the Gatemen. And a little more disappointing in that it had to end the way it did. The Gatemen came close to putting something together there. Late inning heroics against against Harwich, excuse me. But none of that today. But Ryan Garcia, I mean, he's the story today. Besides Easton Lucas not having the outing that he wanted, I mean, he was so good, so dominant, all-star, bona fide, absolutely no argument about that. But didn't have the outing he wanted. But Ryan Garcia solidifying again why he is this team's ace and why he was the only starter named to the All-Star team. Matulovic probably would have been an All-Star, probably Fioli as well, but those guys left early, of course, so not applicable. But Garcia, another awesome performance. The strikeout numbers back up for him. 8 in the 5 innings that he worked, like JD alluded to. Pitch count got a little high, and even 70 in 5 innings is not egregious by any stretch of the imagination. That's honestly pretty reasonable, but you would have liked to get a couple more innings out of him, but hey, that's summer ball. Garcia, great outing today. Isaac Collins struggled from the top of the order, and so the Gatemen struggled to get some runs or get some runners on the base pads, even though Collins, he usually is that guy. 0 for 5, 4 strikeouts, tough day for him, but Sahid Valenzuela, Austin Shenton, and Jeremy Idens, the 2, 3, 4, those 3 All-Stars produced in spades. Valenzuela with a single, Perro runs scored. Shenton with a single and a run scored. Jeremy Idens an RBI, 3 for 4 on the day for the left fielder from UCLA. Pavin Parks produced as well. Drew Mills and Skylar Hunter registering base hits. Skylar Hunter with 2 on the day for Wareham. Dominic Hanzone continued to hit, 1 hit and a run for him. Cam Eden, though, he was a story offensively. 3 for 5 today. 3 singles and a run scored in that nightmare inning, that 7th inning where it just seemed to never end. Some lucky hits for Brewster, and some just tough breaks defensively for Wareham. The game seemed to be out of reach there. Zach Hart tried to come in and salvage the situation, and he honestly was good. He was very serviceable, but he had to deal with a little bit of a mess that Lucas created on the base paths. Again, very uncharacteristic from Lucas. He'll bounce back, no doubt, as the Gatemen try to make their playoff push, but this one stings doubly as Hyannis probably going to come away victors against Chatham. They were giving it to them 8-0 in the 4th inning last time I checked, but there's still a lot of ball game left, a little over 10 games to go here. When we come back, I'm going to take a quick break here on the Gatemen Postgame Show. When we come back, we'll have our player of the game today, undoubtedly Ryan Garcia, here joining us from the sidelines at Stony Brook. We'll be right back.
Since 1950, Morse Insurance has consistently offered the best insurance at competitive rates to generations of clients in southern Massachusetts. If you're frustrated with paying for what essentially feels like just a piece of paper, it's time for you to check out the one-of-a-kind client experience that only Morse Insurance can deliver.
Mezzaluna is a family-run Italian restaurant celebrating 80 years in business. Located on Main Street in Buzzards Bay, Mezzaluna specializes in Italian cuisine, a lunch menu that's the best deal in town, and serves Cape Cod's famous prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday. Come enjoy the feast at Mezzaluna, the Italian family restaurant.
Village Signs of Mattapoisett. They do it all, from logo design, trucks and buildings, to boats. Village Signs has proudly served southern New England for over 35 years. Visit them at villagesigns.inc.com for all your signage needs.
Northeast Maritime Institute's College of Maritime Science is a proud sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen. If you're looking for a career at sea, look to NMI's program of education, adventure, and employment on northeastmaritime.com, America's premier 2-year maritime college.
Legacy Insurance Agency at 213 Main Street here in Wareham can offer you coverage for all your insurance needs. We have the bundle discounts, the accident forgiveness, the vanishing deductible, no loss, etc. But unlike those other gimmick companies, we can quote you with multiple carriers. So forget the lizard and the price tool and come talk to a professional. We'll help you find what's right for you.
Located in Wareham Crossing, Coastal Orthodontics, longtime sponsor of the Wareham Gatemen, knows the importance of a healthy smile. Dr. Kevin Oliveira and his team at Coastal Orthodontics are a patient-focused practice, delivering professional, effective orthodontic treatment based on the individual clinical needs of each patient, resulting in beautiful smiles in a timely manner. With 10 years of experience using Invisalign, Coastal Orthodontics uses the most up-to-date dental equipment. Wareham House of Pizza has been serving Wareham and Marion for over 40 years with steak and cheese, pizza, and subs. Located in Shaw's Plaza, head on over for pickup or let them deliver to you. At the intersection of Route 195 and 28, Wareham Crossing, home of Lowe's, Target, and Red Robin, is the sponsor of the Gatemen Intern Program. They help to provide a world-class internship experience in broadcasting, marketing, sports management, and baseball operations. Check out Wareham Crossing's schedule for this year's Summer Movie Night Series.
Founded in 1854, the Wareham-based AD Makepeace Company is the world's largest cranberry grower and private property owner in eastern Massachusetts. The company supports organizations like the Wareham Gatemen and projects like the outdoor cranberry bog classroom that you may have passed on your way in. Visit admakepeace.com to learn more. Shop from home year-round on any device, anywhere. We offer a large selection of apparel and unique gifts 24/7, 365. Hard to find sizes, colors, and styles. Youth Clinic registration is also available. Visit us today and remember us for holiday gifts at gatemen.org.
Stop by the Ansel S. Gurney House, where you will find a unique shopping and dining experience. Whether shopping for a special occasion or just to treat yourself, you'll find what you're looking for in one of the 11 themed rooms. There's also a cafe serving fresh homemade lunches overlooking the extensive gardens. The Ansel S. Gurney House is located at 403 County Road in Marion.
Make sure you sign your child up today for the Gatemen Robertson's GMC Youth Clinics. This year we have 5 one-week sessions for children 5 to 14. We also have 2 special sessions for hitting and pitching open to teens. Registration is available online at gatemen.org or through forms available at the merchandise booth.
For a nostalgic Cape Cod vacation experience, head to Bay Motor Inn, where guests are treated like family. Located in the heart of Buzzards Bay Village, this 1950-style cottage colony still provides you with up-to-date amenities. The Gatemen thank the Bay Motor Inn for their support.
Welcome back to Stony Brook. My name's Enrique DeMore, your host for the Gatemen Postgame Show, and I'm joined by today's starter and player of the game, Ryan Garcia. Ryan, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
I'm doing great, thank you. So, tough one today, but you clearly had your really good stuff going. High strikeouts again, like your outing in Orleans. Was there anything that's changed throughout the season, or was it just getting different results on the same efforts?
Yeah, exactly. Couldn't have said it better. I think same efforts, just different results every game. I like to treat every outing the same, regardless of who we play, and that's what happened today. Yeah.
So with a great day for you, but obviously the result not what you wanted, a couple of tough base hits, tough hops in the field, right? How do you balance, kind of enjoying your own success versus, as a team, obviously you still got ball games to win, you still got 10 games to go as you push into the playoffs. How do you balance resting in, your own improvements and all that, but then turning it around and being like, okay, we got some work to do?
Right. Yeah, I think regardless of the outcome, I like to take some positives, from the negatives. I think it's good to, have a basis where you can, grow from your outings, and regardless of whether it's positive or negative.
So how do you think you guys as a team? I mean, Brewster, not a fantastic team, but you guys have struggled on the road against them. But with great wins against great teams like Chatham, how do you, kind of flush the bad ones and build on success from the good ones and move forward here?
Yeah, I think it's important for us to flush this one. Get back tomorrow. Thing that killed us tonight was walks, and like you said, tough play up the middle. But that's baseball.
All right, and lastly, looking forward, you are headed to the All-Star Game. Really exciting for you. Are you excited for it, and what are you looking forward to do there at White House?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm super excited. I've played with a ton of those guys, and it should be fun just meeting up with them. It should be a good time, and I'm looking for, I think, an inning. I think there's 9 pitchers there, so we'll each have an inning, so I'll just show them what we got.
All right, sounds good. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
That was Ryan Garcia, today's starter and player of the game. Heck of an outing for him. 8 strikeouts on the day for the UCLA Bruin. You've been listening to a broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Thanks for listening. Our GM is Andy Lang. Our silent reporter is Mary Orders. Thank you to our beat writer, Ian Becerra, and today's play-by-play broadcasters, J.D. Rachi and Cam Stewart. Next broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball will be tomorrow as the Gatemen travel to White House Field to take on the Harwich Mariners for the second time in 3 or 4 days. 4 days, yes. First pitch will be at, I want to say 6:30, and we will have action for you from the Gatemen Pregame Show at 6 o'clock on the Gatemen YouTube channel. For everyone involved in our broadcast, I've been Henrique DeMore. Thank you so much for tuning into this presentation of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Again, your final from Stony Brook, Gatemen 3, Brewster